It says I'm live. I know nobody's going to be there because I'm just popping up crazy, crazy. I'm popping up like nobody's business. So, there's the link if anybody's out there. I don't know if anybody's going to be around. It is a Tuesday night. It is a glorious night. And I got off to school early. So, I thought I'd come by and say hello, 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 hello. So there it is. Yep. Wow, I didn't even have to pin that link. Or did I? Pin that message. Who's out there? Who wants to chat? Anybody there today? Do-do-do. So, yeah, guess what happened on the way to school today? There was another wreck. Early. There's Kathleen Klein. Thank you for coming in there. How you doing? I can't hear myself because I would have feedback if I was watching myself on YouTube. So, hope you're doing good. How'd your day go? What do you got planned for the week? We got to name this gnome. I don't have a name for this gnome yet. Gnome on the roam. Roman gnomes. Kathleen, how you doing? This between me speaking and me seeing it is like 5 minutes. So I don't know if you even said hi yet. There's Fairy Dusk. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. So I got off work early. Okay, thank you. I was on my way to bed, and when you popped up. Well, that's kind of cool that came up so fast then, huh? Cool, cool. Well, yeah, I have a name for the contest. What would be a prize? Give me an idea for a prize, too. So, name the gnome, and what color should I paint the cap? Because, see, it's yellow. I think it ought to be either blue, light blue, or the darker green to kind of go with that. So, what do you think? What do you think? Give me ideas for prizes. Do. Okay. Because we got this one. We got this guy named. Yeah, name the gnome. Name the gnome. All right. We got G. We got little G here. He's up and out his little cabin. Yep. He fits like a glove. I love that little house. Oh. So what's new and exciting for you today? Where are we staying? Well, little G is staying in his little gnome home. He's got a little gnome home here. I don't know if you've seen it. But yep, he fits in there like a glove. Yep. There's Dana. Barefoot in Alaska. Hello, hello. No ideas what the prize. Let me think on that. Yeah, let's do that Saturday. We'll do it. We'll name the gnome on Saturday. And I got to work on the other one. So the other one's in here. And this gnome, I love his color. Because see, it perfectly matches these colors over here, right? So that's pretty cool. So yeah, we're gonna name the gnomes. Name the gnomes on Saturday, okay? Thumbs up. Yeah, 4 watching. 2 thumbs up. One of them's mine. Name the gnome on Saturday, okay? Unless I have another pop-up. So cute, so cute. Yep, I like him. So, and of course we have scary hair gnome here. Oh, troll. Oh, Dan. How you doing, buddy? Hey, is it too late for you to come up? Give me a holler. Yep, so we named this one, this troll. We named this troll. That is, who remembers the name? Anyone? Anyone? Leaving early in the morning. Okay, not sure the time. I'll be in Reno tomorrow. Tomorrow? Ooh. Let's see. If it's late, well, you said you're coming right by 95. You got to get a hold of me early because I'm on 95. So you got my number. Let me do this. Get a hold of me. Get a hold of me right there, buddy. Get a hold of me. Do not go into Reno before you get a hold of me. Okay? Don't know where you're at right now. Trudy. Trudy the Troll? That would have been a good one. This is Angel J. Jeepers. And Jeepers with G-G-E-E-P-P-E-R. Angel G. Jeepers. Yep. Yep. Close. That's where, if it's Jeepers, I'll change it. Angel Jess. Yep. Very good. Yep. Jeepers. Yep. Yes, I have it, and I'll text you before. So call me on that number first before you text, because that's not my direct line. It has to go through my secretary before you can text me. It'll still take text, but yeah, give me a holler first. All right, cool. Safe travels. Yeah, he's headed north. Gonna help a good friend of ours. So cute. Yep, get the thumbs up going. Get the thumbs up going. Where are we staying? I'm staying near Reno. I go to school in Reno. Yep, where are you? Where are you? Hopefully on the road. I have no idea for the prize. Yep, so I want to name the gnome and I want to give out a prize. So Kathleen Klein says that I ought to do. I don't know what I would give. So she's going to think of a prize. I got a bag of Skittles. Ooh, that would be good because they're all colors of the rainbow. So it doesn't matter what color we color. But I said I want to see the yellow. It's like kind of matches. So maybe that dark blue or the light blue. We're going to pick between those two colors as well. Or maybe the green. Tilt it that way. So green. So backwards. Anywho. All right, what do we have? We got Nate coming in. Oh, we got Dan coming in. Hello, hello. Oh, Kat's leaving us? I missed something already? All right. Yep, I have it, and I'll text you. Yep, give me a holler. What's up, G? Pop-up, that's what's up. I got off school way early. I normally don't even get home till about 11. And I didn't do a check on my internet, but I'm going, well, the only one that I saw out of the 990 people I'm subscribed to, nobody was live. You know, we have the Adventures of Traveling Mike live, of course. That's a no-brainer. Okay, so, yep, you're headed to bed. Okay, Cat, you do that. Cat, you do that. Nighty-night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs take your bed sheets. All right, so good night, G. Yep, hip. He's got to get up at 4 a.m. He's going to hit the road and head north. Well, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Give me that thumbs up on the way out, and I'll see you when I see you. Okay, nighty-night. CD. Yep. Can we call him CD anymore? Oh, I didn't know that disappeared. Oh, that changed things up. So when I have a comment up, my banner's not up. So when my banner's not up, there's no comments to be had. So yeah, you guys can write me and you can call me there. I'm not going to turn you down. So there we go. Otherwise, we have the little banner. Welcome to the G-Spot Lounge. Do. All right, what's good? What's happening this week? What's going on, you guys? What is good in your days? We got a handful of watching. How many likes do I have now? 2 likes. Do I need to refresh? What happened here? There we go. Got 6. So if you saw that picture of the accident where that semi truck was kind of sideways, yeah, there was a wreck there today again. So I don't know what the deal was, but some pickup truck had to have a dance with the side rail and flipped over onto its other side. And just call me. There you go. Old school cargo Dan. All right. It's A to Z Outdoors, Danielle. Mr. Daniel. So yeah, there was a wreck there again today. Luckily, it's on the eastbound. I'm headed westbound. So then I went to stop by my neighbor since he was had his garage door open and watched the tail end of Texas Rangers. Yes, we did. It's kind of death, so it was like cranked to like 35. It was like but we got it done. I'm having me a midnight snack. Thought I'd have a guessing game, but nah, skip that. So it's a little peanut butter and cracker toasties. Never had these, and then a little cow juice on the side, whole milk that is. Anywho, what are you guys' favorite snacks at night besides ice cream and sugary stuff? Oi, give me a holler. Somebody talk. We got all these highs and buys. Is that what happened? Yep, 2 of you left. I know, it's hard to talk to yourself. This isn't easy up here, folks. Oh, I think you all went back over to Mike's, didn't you? Was there something going on there? Did I interrupt something? I should have looked, shouldn't I? I should have just gone up over there. Who do we got? Dana, are you in the house? Tell me what's going on. You want to come up? Give me a holler. What did I do today? Well, what I did yesterday was I went out to the desert and somebody had hauled out a huge Class A motorhome and gutted it. They gutted it. I don't think there was anything but a little bit of kitchen plumbing. Oh, we're missing out on Boxstand D, huh? Okay. Boxstand D. I didn't know she was up on the panel. Aha. Sorry. Yep. I'm still waiting for the cafe and bar to close. Oh, then your son comes home? Your daughter comes home? Yes. So I've been real busy for the last 3 weeks. Okay. So the good news out of this out in the desert was this RV, and it was tipped over on its side. And like I said, all the windows busted out, everything was gutted out. There wasn't anything to be had. The lights were taken out, the vents were taken out, everything inside. There was like a little bit of kitchen sink plumbing left, and the 2 drivers, driver and passenger seat right up front, and the tires and rims. Oh my goodness. I have one of my rims that has weights halfway around it. So that means that is not balanced very well. Because you should have balanced rims. Okay, the tires should already be balanced, but when the balance of the wheels and the rims get together, they kind of might have a wobble there, right? Okay. No, I can't get a decent signal. Oh, okay, because there's so many people using the service over at the bar. Gotcha. Okay. So anywhoser, so I was saying is that since it was up on its side, I could get to the rims. Because if it was stuck in the desert, it would just be flat and all the weight would be in the deep sand, right? So I went over there with my neighbor and I got 3 new rims. And I think they're pretty new because they weren't rusted. They were nice color. I mean, they weren't freshly painted new. And then they had lug nuts that came off really easy. I mean, they were cranked on there, but I had him take them off. But so we took home 3 rims with tires that were flat. They were not going to be fixable. They had bullet holes in them. Yeah, bullet holes. So anywho, I took those down to the the local tire guy, and I'm getting those yanked off of there. Now, I wish there's more people on here that would give me a feedback, but I need to get tires for my RV. Ooh, looky there. Kim, North and South, how you doing? Did you hear my story about my tires? I got 3 new rims off of an RV that was in the desert. It was gutted. It was gutted and left for dead. Dan. Howdy, howdy. And so I got 3 new rims to me, and I was going to ask the question, and here goes. You're not really an RVer, you're a homesteader. Very dust. Crazy. Tires are very important. Now, here's the deal. These tires were E-rated. E-rated is a 10 ply. Okay. Very visual. So this is how I remember it. A, B, C, D. D is for date. Date is for 8. Okay. A, B, C, D. D is for date. D is for 8. Okay. Rhyming thing, right? Okay. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. A, B, C, D, E. E is 10 ply. So that's how you check your weight rating, not the speed rating, but the weight rating. Okay, so I looked those tires up. Yes, yeah, good score. So 3 rims, but the tires were all shot up. But those tires were worth about $220 each, minimum. Really high-end tires. And they were good tread, but when the holes are in the sidewalls, you can't patch that. So I was crying. Anyhow, I got 3 new rims. And one of my old rims that has, like I said, weights halfway around it, I'm throwing that one away. Not even going to try. Okay, so being as I have 2 fresh new rims and I'll scratch up and paint and make them all nice and neat. Does anybody, Dan, somebody out there, do they know, would you put 2 brand new tires on the front end and then wait to get 4 more? And do they have to be the same? Can I get really super really good 2 tires for the driving? And then some different tread styles and for the back. Does anybody know that? Can I get a no way, or good luck with that, or I wouldn't do that, or that sounds crazy, or that works the best? Anyone? Anywho, so okay, what do we got? Oh yeah, the numbers I know are the first and second base. Not knowing about tires, except for the need to change. Yep. So in the days, I had front-wheel drive cars. I had a lot of front-wheel drive cars. And most of the time, I would just buy 2 new tires. So you put brand new tires on the front, and yet let's say you start off fresh. So you get brand new tires on the front, brand new tires on the back. If you never rotate them, the fronts will disappear, okay? But you should have at least 50% tread on the back. Okay, if you then rotate those to the front, put the new ones in the back, you have at least 2 brand new tires on your car at all time. Okay, well, not all time, but more than one time. All right. So then when you go and you wear out those 50% down to 0, the back one should be about 75%. So then you put 75% on the front and you put brand new on the back. Then the 75 goes down to 0. Then you got about 75 on the back, and you keep doing that, and you'll always have 50 to 75% tread on both, if not all, your tires. And you went, yeah. So steer tires first. Dan's going with the steer tires first. So yeah. So my tires are from, I think, 2017. But Dan, I'm not going to hit the road for at least 6 to 8 months. So I don't need new tires right now, but I have these rims and I can start rotating them out and be prepared. So I have the money to buy all tires now, but I don't need them now. So I'm not going to do that. But I'm thinking, do I even want to do the 2 tires now? But like you're saying, I like your idea. I think it's very critical that you get the best, most expensive 10, 12 ply, whatever. I mean, talking semi-trire, cut through the road, okay, on the front. Because if you have a front blowout, that's way critical than one rear blowout. Okay. All right. What do we got here? I think the funny in that comment. It's okay, George. I know that your mind is on the tires. Okay, let's back up. I'm sorry, dear. Okay, yeah. The numbers I know are first and second base. So if you're talking for your baseball, I got that. If you're talking something else, I got that too. Oh, yeah. End that. So I don't know how funny I could get, but I appreciate that. I loved it. Yeah. So I was thinking of your little kid's baseball or something like that, but no. First and second base. Hey, Sir Ron, Mr. Rent Adventures, did you hear my comment about my tires? I got two new rims, well, three. Okay, so Miss Fairydesk is saying, I rotate my tires until I need new ones. These tires still good, but I can get all four new ones. So here's my thought on that, though. Okay. Once you get down to past 20-30% left on your tires, you have four bald tires. Okay. In my philosophy, you'll always have two tires that have at least 50% tread on them. Okay. That's my logic. So if I'm only rotating two tires, well, you rotate them all the time, possibly on your four wheel, on your all wheel drive and front or rear drive cars. But mine, when I had front wheel drive cars, I only bought two new tires at a time. So no matter where I was at, I always had 50% tread. Okay. And so that way I have more traction than this. I had brand new tires, bald tires. That's my logic. But there's nothing wrong either way. And they always tell you that because when you go to buy tires and you're buying four, you're spending a lot of money in the dealerships or the tire places like that. So of course they want you to do it all like that. So that's my logic. That's what I was doing. But my question tonight was, if I have four tires on the back, like for RVs, four tires in the back and two in the front, do I want to mix and match my tires with drive tires, steering tires, what we ever want to call them? Or do I want to just wait and get all brand new tires at one time for an RV? Okay. Because in an RV, you carry a lot of weight, so you want a lot of good tires. Yeah. I don't think I would try my philosophy. Well, if I did what I said, I would never rotate my tires in an RV. Okay. So in an RV, if I had two brand new steering tires that were 10 ply, I would probably get in a more aggressive tread for the back four tires, like an all-terrain. That's good for the road. Okay. So always have the best tread on the steering tires. That's what I'm thinking, Dan. And more or lesser tread on the rear. That's what I'm thinking. Like I said, though, two, like 10, 12, whatever, the most expensive tires you can get for steering tires on the front, and then some more aggressive tread on the back. Ron, are you thinking that too? Is that what your yes is? Okay. I tried to behave myself on the comments, Kim. Yeah. Okay, brand new. Fairy Dust is saying she's going all brand new. She is going all brand new. Okay, so, well, I do know you need to put new tires on the front. My brother's owner of a tire shop, so I just take my car to him, needing new tires now, 400 for four. Wow, that's sweet. But you obviously have a small car? Yes, family discount. Wink. Where can I go? Sign me up. Where you at? Oh, you're South Carolina? Somewhere way over there. Tell me how close I was. Oh, okay. No, at least two at a time. So on my four back tires, rotate. Finish that sentence for me there, buddy. Dan. All right, so at least two at a time. So again, I would love to buy the best 10, 12 ply tires for the whole way around. That's probably about $1,400 to $1,600. Hello. Yeah, $250 a tire. Woo, doggy. And if I did two at a time, I would be able to afford that. But I've never owned an RV and had to change out tires. So should I wait, save the money, and get all brand new at the highest quality I can get? Or should I get 2 top of the line right now and lesser for the 4 when I'm ready to hit the road? Or just stick the rims in the closet and don't worry about it till I need it, and then ask this question later? Okay, I deliver RVs for 3 years and wrote new tires on the front tires back to the inside dualies, and inside dualies to the outs. So in that case, Mr. Ron, that says that I have to get exactly the same tires. Because if you're putting a different tread, different tire, different weight rating, and you're rotating them, even though they say the same size, they're going to be a little bit different because your steering wear is going to be way different than your straight ones on the back. So I don't know how that would actually work. Because I asked, why don't we have smaller tires on the inside dualies and they only need it when there's load? Let's say you had, I don't know the size, I'm not really into tires, that you have a big tire on the outside and a smaller one. And I'm talking just microscopic smaller, like a half size, I don't even know. Okay, smaller. And then the lesser ones, either more air when you don't have a load or less air when you do have a load. I don't know how they work, but they said, no, you can't do that. You have to have everything the same. So I'm saying if I had higher quality tires in the front, could I rotate them? I don't think I can. All right, Kentucky, you were around 7 hours off. Yeah, I was only thinking of Kenny as in Tennessee. Yes, you're. And again, Tennessee is below Kentucky. Yes, it is. I'm going with that. Let me know, Kim. All right, worth it. What is worth it? All new at one time. Okay. So Fairy Dust says, save my money and buy the best tires all at once. Okay. Also, steer tires, tread, and drive treads are different. Absolutely. I know that. And that's why I wouldn't rotate, and I would spend more money on my front 2 tires than I would on the back 4 tires. And I don't mean total. I just mean per tire. I would spend more. Okay. Okay. And then he says, I heard 3,000 in 3 years of towing. Okay. He did what? Had 3,000 in 3 years of towing. Yes. Tennessee is below Kentucky. Or Kentucky's on top of Tennessee, however we say it. All right. So Ron's chiming in. He says, what I said got the best mileage. Okay. And I lost it. So let's combine it all together, Ron. Sorry, brother. Or just come up and tell me. Hello. All right. So let's go back and see what he was saying. Okay, delivered RV for 3 years, rotate, new tires. Okay, so he's saying, let's bring it up so everybody can see it. Okay, so for 3 years, rotate was new tires in the front. Okay, front tires to the inside and the dualies inside to the outside. So front to the inside, inside to the outside, and the outside goes bye-bye. So that's only though why I wouldn't get rid of those 2 if they were shot. So they had to be in the cycle before too. So that's the rotate. So the 2 on the outside, they got to be older. So that means don't buy all of them at the same time. That's what I'm hearing. Because if I'm going to rotate them and if I put new ones on the front, these aren't bad. Because if the new ones went to the middle, then the middle now would be the same age as the outside, and the outside would go bye-bye. They're not bad. So I'm so confused. Tire Talk. Tire Talk with G. That's what we're talking tonight. Tire Talk with G. So he said he did that for 300,000 miles. 3,100. Okay, now I got to really. Are you freaking kidding me? I don't think you mean 3,000, 100,000. That would be 3 million, right? Well, if you delivered cars, you probably have driven 3 million. I know I've driven over 1 million miles easily. Okay. That's a headache. I'm hearing you, Fairy Dust. Yeah, I'm getting dizzy now. I would do all the tires, new tires the first time in the RV. Then you will know what works for you later. Exactly. So, oh, but here's the deal. I slowly wanted to get rid of those old rims. You know what I'm saying? So, who's in the house? Is he good? Let's see what he has to say now. How you doing there, Ron?
Hello, you hear me here?
I do hear you well, loud and clear.
What I was trying to say was 300,000 miles towing.
Exactly.
And, but that tire, I had an old trucker tell me that one time. He
What's
said,
that?
don't cross them. Said, if you,
No.
and it worked.
Yeah.
My mileage really increased.
Yeah.
But what happened is he also told me to take, if it was like 70-pound max on a tire,
Right.
to run the front tire at 70, the inside dual at 70, the outside dual at 60. And what that was for an uneven road to where it would, them outside tires would give instead of you going over something and everything being on the outside tire.
Right. Now, the internet burped on us there. So 70 and 70 and what on the outside?
60 on the outside, 10 pounds lower on the outside dual.
Wow. Okay.
And that also increased my gas mileage when I did it.
Really? Okay. So my logic earlier was a different size tire, and you're saying just run different air pressure.
Well,
Right.
I ran basically the same size tires, but if you buy them
Right.
a pair at a time, take a pair for the front,
Yeah.
and you take those, put them on the inside, and you buy another pair for the front,
Right.
and you just keep on, and you outside duals will wear the worst because they're
Okay.
up and down, and
Okay.
so you kick them off.
Okay. Okay. Now I see it now. Yeah, but you're seeing what my question was tonight, right? I have these brand new rims to me, and one of my rims I know on my RV now has weights halfway around it. We're talking from noon to 6.
Ooh.
That's weight bad, and I want to get rid of that one so fast, right? But I'm not driving it. I'm not going anywhere right now, so I'm not too worried about it. But I did. I drove it from basically Portland, Oregon, all the way down to Parker, Arizona, and back. You know, that's 15 hours. You know, so. But my tires are from 2017. They've got a lot of good tread, but as for weight and dry rot, it's coming on.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I got a travel trailer that I'm fixing to have put 4 on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well.
But the tires on them, you can keep them out of the sun. They don't do too bad.
Yeah.
But they sit out in the sun, man. It's hard on them.
Yeah.
Funny, the more tire gets used, the better it is.
What's that?
I said, the more tire gets used, the better it is.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So whereabouts are you now?
I'm in Waco, Texas.
Waco. Yeah. That's where you're staying, or are you just passing by, or?
No, this is my home down here. I've got a
Oh,
place. I live in a travel trailer out full time, but I've got a friend of mine's got a place here. I rent a place from him that I can come back to whenever I want to. Got a little storage bit on it.
that's what I'm fixing to do. My teacher just left, and he's gone to Las Vegas. And I told him to let me know what's land down there because he wants to buy in Prump. And I said, I just want a chunk of dirt out there that I can put a shed on. He goes, don't worry about it. You can put one on my land. So I'm, whoa. Because literally, that's all I want, like a little 6x8 or 10x10 shed to put some tools and trinkets in there and have a spot where I know that I can park for a week or so if I had to. And just
Well,
keep on moseying.
the one I want is one of these RV covers that's got a little 10x20 shed on the back end of it where you back in. And that to me is ideal.
Oh, yeah, where you could be undercover and work on the motor or something? Or?
Yeah, it just
Mhm.
well, it really helps them RVs and trailers to stay out of the sun,
Oh yeah. Well,
especially
that's
when
my
it's
thing
that
too.
chill.
Is awnings and covers and whatnot. Is that the joke is that, oh, it's only 110 in the shade. Well, if it's 130, why not put your house or trailer or everything under an awning?
Yeah, it helps.
I don't understand. If I lived down that way, I would have a roof on a roof.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 foot or 2 foot off the roof, and that's shade.
Well, if you come down one sheet on the outside,
Yeah.
then you can have 2 or 3 foot on top. The more you have, the better off you are.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Yeah, and I'm
that's
sure that an awning or the length of the overhang, the eave of the house too. Let's say it stops at there. I'd have another foot to 2 foot hanging over for shade.
what if you get if you buy one of them RV covers, most of the time they come in 16 to 18 foot wide, and so you
Oh yeah,
park in the
and
in the middle of that, you got plenty of cover.
yeah, exactly. Cool. All right, what's this one say? The problem with changing all the tires at once, they will be ready to change again. Yeah, that's my scenario. Okay, but if you change them, the dollar gets the new ones now. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Um, but again, I don't need them right away. It's not something I need to worry about. Too stressful. It's just that I got new empty rims, and I thought, okay, I can clean them up and start the tactic. So I'd buy 2 now and 4 later. But ideally, if I had it, if I was ready to hit the road, I'd just buy all brand new tires for the whole 9 yards, get the best I can afford.
You know
Yeah, yeah.
what
So
a-
Ron,
what
then
what kind of RV have you got?
24 Class C.
Oh,
Yeah, but I figure I'll have a lot of weight in it, so I want to get the highest weight rating I can.
yeah, I want at least 10. That was
Yeah,
minimum,
yeah, that's an E,
and it's hard to find 12s anymore.
really.
Yeah,
Well, unless you go to like the semi truck tire, right?
yeah.
But
If you get
they
up,
don't.
but even those have got where they're going to a radial, and they're not as heavy anymore.
Oh yeah, and then even then, some of those are just going to a big wide tire.
Yeah,
The semi trucks with the single.
it
Hmm.
it
Yeah.
makes a lot of difference. I pulled everything when I was delivering them RVs
Hmm.
from teardrop all the way to 44-foot park model.
Oh my
Those are
God.
cool.
Ooh, that's too much, man.
Yeah, you got some tail swing on that. You got
Oh my gosh. So on that word, there was an RV couple that's had all kinds of RVs, and that's their thing now. I think it's living your or save your daydream or something daydream, right? And they're changing out their RVs so they can experience them and then share that with us, right? And one of them said, "Oh, they're on a Class C," and he says, "Okay, this is longer, so it's going to have this much tail swing." Do you know how to do the calculation of a tail swing?
you
Right?
watch the damn mirrors and they'll hit something. That's how I
Yeah.
calculate it.
Yeah, if it's but I figure if it's 12 feet from the axle, you got 12-foot swing. That whole booty's swinging, man.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
will.
No, the first time I went and got gas in my 24 foot, well, it's seems like 12 feet is hanging off the back of the axle. I'll tell you that. You got to keep going straight, and then turn.
I like to pull a bumper pull better than I do a fifth wheel on
Oh
a
yeah,
travel trailer. I don't like
yeah.
fifth wheel. They
No.
catch too much wind. They're too damn tall. They don't track,
Oh yeah.
and it can be a whole lot more trouble pulling them. I like about a 30-foot travel trailer. That's just about the right size for me.
Oh wow, that sounds huge though. Well, it's a you and your missus and who or what? What
And
do you got?
Me and the Yorkie dogs.
That's it, and you need
That's
30
it.
feet, mother toaster, dude.
Well, I've lived in a travel trailer now for 6 years, I guess, and I've had several different ones. I've had everything from a casita up,
Hmm.
and I've owned 3 or 4 motorhomes, and I found out that 30 was pretty well had what I wanted. I wanted a bedroom that had a door that shut on it, that you didn't have to put the bed up and down. That
Right.
you know,
Or bring the slide in, right? Or does it?
uh,
Yep.
no, I can bring the slides in and still use the bed and the kitchen and everything else.
Right. Yeah.
But the other thing is, on a 30-foot, a lot of times you can get a 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
So then the back room, I like to reload. I've got some stuff I do like that. And
Okay.
they make a computer room out of it and stuff, and
Sure.
keep the living area in the center.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I'm 100% onto that. The next
And
level, like compared to that, what you got, I was looking at toy haulers because I like the back ramp. I like to have the open air and like a porch or whatever you want to call it, right? But
damn, they're heavy.
are they? Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, they got to be able to pull a Jeep or something up in there,
Yeah.
and haul it.
Yeah. Whatever you
But
get.
the other thing that I gotta have in a travel trailer, I don't want a dinette in it. I
Uh-huh.
want a table and chairs in it, and I want
Yep.
some recliners in it. And now that's what I wound up doing. I redid this trailer
Oh yeah.
to
I ain't
pull
seen
a
nobody that
dinette
hasn't.
out. Yeah,
Mhm.
pull a dinette out, and it
Yeah.
just adds so much room. And a dinette's the most uncomfortable damn thing they put in these trailers.
It's like eating at McDonald's or something, Why do I need to be sitting at 90 degrees and have to slide in and, the table, if it's mounted, ain't right spot anyways, you can't see, but I'm no single slim guy. I'm a 2X.
Well, I am too.
Yeah. So, we need a little bit of sliding room there. So
Yeah, I'm about 6 foot and about 250, so I'm not a
well, I
little
got
big
another
guy.
nickel on that. So yeah, I'm exactly. You know how it is then.
So,
I am 6 foot and 257 on the slider scale just the other day. I said I like that scale because the one at home says it's a few pounds more, but yeah, we're the same exact then.
well, I pulled a dinette out of this trailer and put me a desk in it, but I'm fixing to pull a desk out to
Oh yeah,
redo it. And what I'm going to buy some reclining office chairs, ones that
oh yeah,
roll,
yeah,
and use those for the table chairs, and then use them for my office too.
oh yeah,
And then you relax in them too. They've
right.
got some nice recliners like that.
Wow. Yeah, you're gonna pay a couple bills for that.
Yeah.
I have a 5 foot leather couch in my apartment here that I would it'll fit. I mean, I haven't tried to get it in there, but lengthwise against that wall where the dinette's at. So I've got the water heater on one side of the bench and the furnace on the other side. So I can't take it all out, right?
Yeah.
Only open spot I have is right where you put your feet in that post, right? Okay. So basically those two things would become the pedestal and have that leather couch sit on top. And then I'd probably fill in or put a board or something in there and a drawer under there. Unfortunately, it's not a recliner. I got rid of those when I moved in here. I had two recliners that had that divider in the middle. So like the where you set your drinks at, or you have the remote hold, But that was never part of the package that I had. So somebody had them, and you just put some boards together and put them side by side.
Well, they make a couch just like that.
Yeah, and yet more money. But I have this leather couch, I already have it, and it'd fit right up on there. But I don't even know if I want to go with that because I want to do YouTube on the road. I want to have a desk. I want to have somewhere where I can sit and do things. And this won't be the end all to RV in, but yeah.
Well, I figure I'm gonna stay in an RV to like Crow. I enjoy it so much, and I own 2 houses, and
Wow.
I let my sister live in one of them, and
Yeah.
then rent the other one out. But I'm gonna try to get rid of both them houses. Just living in an RV is just so simple. It's just no taxes, no crap, and you don't ever own a house. A house owns you.
Oh, absolutely. And people say, "Oh, wow, look at I have an asset." No, it's only an asset until you sell it, or like you, that you're actually making more money than the mortgage is, or maybe not. It's family, but until you sell it, it's it's a burden. You have to pay for it, and that's not an asset. And the same thing with my stocks. I lost half my stocks already this year, and it's not mine until I sell it. You know, I
That's
probably
right.
could have bought one of your houses with the amount of money that I lost, and it's like jaw dropping. It's like what? And now, yeah, I mean, literally $10,000 just the other day.
No, the stock
It's
market.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I lost. I don't want to say. I don't want to brag. It's not bragging. It's just saying the facts. It's like I've lost a lot of damn money in the last
The
three to
only
six
good
months.
thing about the damn stock market, if you can hang on, usually it
Yeah.
comes back.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
just when you panic, that's the only time you get hurt
Oh,
bad.
absolutely. Yeah.
I'm with
So,
Dan on that, though. I'd take them weights off that tire and see if it's
oh
a
yeah,
tire out of balance or the rim.
absolutely. So, and that's the deal. So I have the 6 tires on rims on the RV. I also have a spare. Okay. And then I have 3 more rims. So I have these 3 good rims that are going on that RV some way or another. That's 2 brand new on the front and 1 for the spare. But you're right, that weighted one, I'm not even saying take the weights off. Take the tire off, put it on the new rim, and throw that sucker away. It's not about the tire. I'm pretty sure on that. Would you agree?
Well,
Could
I
they
don't
make it
know.
higher?
I've seen tires out of round. Uh, I've seen some crazy stuff on tires now,
Well,
and dealers, if you don't watch them, they'll just keep putting weight on there till they get it good as it can get.
dude.
But I've seen some that could not be balanced because the tire was out of round,
Wow.
and so
Yeah.
it's like anything else. You just got to take it one step at a time.
Yeah. Well, and I'd rather, I'm with there's great comments in here. I appreciate everybody saying. And here and I don't even think Kim's an RVer. She's definitely a homestead, right? And it says right there. So once you change your tires, you changed them all, okay? And then when they wear out, you got to change them all again. And that's what I talked about earlier about changing only 2 tires on a front wheel drive car. Well, that was my logic. Okay, but here, yeah, if you got all the money, you buy them all now. But then again, you better start saving because in what 4 or 5 years, especially if you're driving a lot,
Yeah, it depends on how much you're driving. I
another
could get about 85,000 out of a
okay.
set of tires when I was pulling RV,
Wow,
and that's pretty good.
that
Now,
is that's really good.
before I started rotating them tires like that and adjusting that air pressure, I was
Yeah.
getting about 50,000.
Wow. So 70 on the front, 70 on the inside, and 60 on the outside.
And what that does,
Wow.
that
Okay.
that goes, you get on an uneven highway
Mm-hmm.
that's got a crown in it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's times them outside tires are up or they're clear, everything's riding on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
You go around a corner, that outside dual is it may be digging in. The inside dual may not even be on the ground.
No. Mm-hmm.
And so that's why you run lower pressure on that, where it can let out and let that inside dual catch the weight.
You run less on the outside.
Yeah, less on the outside. It's softer in that way.
Yeah.
And it worked well. I can't claim that I figured it out. I had an old truck driver done it all his life. He said, "You go try it." And said, I tried it.
Wow.
And that's the only way I'll run one now.
Yep. Yep. That's what an asset is. Until it puts it back in, doesn't matter what you're doing. Even let's say you're gardening. She's a homesteader, so I like to refer things back to people that they know, right? So if you're gardening and you gotta buy the seeds, okay, that's money out of your pocket already. You gotta tow it, so you had to put some fertilizer in there. That's money out of your pocket. So having a garden is not an asset yet, right? And then you got your water bill, okay, and you got all that. But if you go to the farmer's market and sell all that, and you can make 3, 5 times the money that you ever put into it, that's an asset. So it's that balance until it actually pays. Absolutely. Yep. She's not an RVer, but I like the idea of it. Love the road trips.
Well, I tell you what, I put money in the bank. I retired vet and Social Security,
Thanks, sir.
and I put money in the bank every month.
Mm.
Living like this, where it used to, I could, even when I was working, it just took everything it was to keep up with houses and wives and all that business.
Yep. Well, sadly, I haven't worked in 2 years, and I only got $1,000 a month now to live on. But when I had a job, I was putting over $1,000 away a month, and those were the good days. But I got hurt twice on the job, and now I'm going back to school. And right around my area, there's jobs for 19, and in any warehouse is $19 to $20. And Trex is a plastic lumber place. They're paying $19 to $20. And now Sherwin-Williams, right in this town, is paying $22 an hour.
They're a good outfit.
Yeah. Yeah, you haul for them?
No, I never did.
Well, no.
I've just got friends that ran for them,
Mm-hmm.
and I know several guys that are up in the top part
Yeah.
of that company.
Yeah.
And it's just been a good, solid company for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
How old are you, man?
Well, what do I look like?
Well, no, I want to ask you the same thing here in a minute.
Yeah. Well, because you smoke, you're going to look older than me. I'll tell you that. But you said you're retired, so I'm going to go with 64.
Well, add 11 years to it.
Okay, see that? Pretty sweet, eh?
Yeah.
And you were thinking, there's no wrinkles here, buddy.
I think you're about 55.
Okay, we won't tell nobody different. All right, good answer. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, if I shave this off, I look a whole lot younger. But like I said, I haven't worked for so long, I'm not really caring. And we're doing this little Viking thing. Well, looky here, Ron. This is, I don't know. You can't even see it. So
yeah, I can see it.
It's a foot long from. I've never done that before. I've never had a beard like this. I've never grown my hair this long. I mean, see, it's come clear down past my ears.
If I grow a beard, I look like a Beverly Hillbilly, man. I ought to have a shotgun and a black hat on,
There you go. Huh? You gotta have a hole out of it, right?
Yeah. But the only time I ever had anything like the ponytail, the day before I went in the Army.
Yeah.
I went. My hair was pretty long, and when I got a mohawk.
Oh yeah.
I had it for a while.
And kept the ponytail, mohawk, and all the way back.
That was all gone the next day.
Oh shit! Yeah, yeah. You rebelled for an hour. Well, every summer when I was a little kid, we got mohawks. My little brother and I. Yep. And I go to the swimming pool. Get this, Ron. I go to the swimming pool, and I'd sit, pouty, right? And then they'd come up and ask me, "Are you an Indian?" And then I'd cross my legs and sit there like a little Indian boy, right? And I said, "Wow, you must be able to swim like a fish." Dude, I never got in the pool. I swim like a freaking rock. Oh, I love telling that story. I swim like a rock, man. I took swimming lessons for the summers 3-4 times, man. I still don't swim worth diddly.
Well, I was before I retired and I retired and then started pulling them RVs.
Oh yeah.
And but I was in the steel business. We built a lot of steel buildings, did high pressure pipe work in these plants and that kind of stuff. But I never would have short hair, just on account of the power flying.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Wow. So Kim doesn't even have to pay for any of that thing. So the range catchment, yep, okay, but in some states it's illegal. Can you believe that? Okay. Rabbit poo, yep, free fertilizer. Seeds from last year. So those are called heirloom seeds. So if you're getting that GHMO stuff, they don't produce seeds, I guess. And we don't do anything around here that doesn't pay for itself, other than YouTube. Well, if you get your channel big and you want to, show your crops and stuff, yeah, you'll get paid on YouTube. Cajun is in the house. Naj is in the house. Thank you for coming by, everybody. We got Ron up here. We were talking shop with some players and rotating and trucking. And we're still going to chat on that because I got a question for you about how well you did and how much did you like delivering RVs?
It won't work now.
Now, what do you mean?
when I got into it, you could buy a diesel 1 ton for about 30,000. Well, you can wear it out in 3 years.
Wow.
You can't do that with an $80,000 duty, and that's about what they cost now. You can't make enough money to do it, and the rates haven't gone up over maybe 10 or 15 cents a mile. So it
Now,
just
what I was looking at is you go to Elkhart, Indiana, which I actually lived there in a wee bit of time, and you go right to the manufacturers and you deliver them to the locations by driving them. So the coaches, like, Class C's and Class A's, right?
yeah. But you go to work for a company, you can't go in there and just get one and drive it. You got to have the number. I can't think of the number. I mean the name of it, but you got to have everything it takes for a commercial license to do that.
Yeah, somebody was saying that they are going to commercial CDLs now, right?
Yeah, it just, and then like I drove for Horizon Transport. There's a bunch of companies up there, and they've got yards that they drive the motorhomes and pull the RVs to. I mean, pull the trailers to, and that's where you pick them up.
Right.
But you under their blanket paperwork.
Yep.
And so that's the way that works.
Well, how I got the idea, there was a lady that Bob Wells interviewed, and he interviewed her a couple of times, like a 2 year apart, and she was still doing it, and she gave the lowdown, and I went to her channel and she talked about it more. Is that, so let's say that you drive it from Indiana to Florida, and the bid on the job was like $700. They would pay you $500 up front, and out of that $500, you'd have to pay for the gas to get it there, and yet you were supposed to have like a trailer car, what do they call them, a tote, a tag along car, or you just fly yourself back. But once you got there, then they gave you the other 250 or whatever, and they'd pay you that way. Have you heard it like that, or?
Yeah, that's the way it works.
Okay. But you're saying even nowadays you can't get in, or it's not worth it, or?
Well, it's not to own your own rig and do it.
Right.
But now I don't know about the motorhomes.
Yeah.
You got to get back. And so you either got to tow a car or you've got to have the money to get on an airplane and fly back.
Yeah.
So that's a disadvantage of the motorhome.
Yeah. Because some of them might not be set up for towing, right?
Yeah, no, a lot of them, they have to bolt a trailer hitch on them. They bolt it on the back bumper.
Yeah.
But still, you're wearing your car out if you do that. And it's just certain cars you can tow.
Right. Now, on that note, are you, I see so many people pulling Jeeps. I would say, I mean, I'm living right on the freeway here, that 9 out of 10 of them Class A's are pulling a Jeep. They must work, I guess, or it's one that works to get towed out.
They're 4-wheel drives and they've got a neutral.
Yeah.
And so you can just shift it in neutral and not have to worry about it.
Right.
And so
because it's a manual transmission, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I have a Subaru, and it's an automatic though, but it says it's not supposed to be towed flat at all. There's actually a fuse that you can put in it as if you had a flat tire. Because here's the other thing: on all-wheel drive cars, folks, you have to have your tires within 1/4 inch of each other. So remember I said earlier that only change out 2 at a time on a front-wheel drive car? On an all-wheel drive, you can't do that. You have to buy them all new and old, new and old. But anyhow, you can't tow a Subaru, they say. Flat tow it on its all wheels.
There's not many cars, especially since everything's automatic anymore.
Right.
I tried to buy another new pickup here about 3 months ago. And do you know you cannot order a damn standard transmission in a pickup?
Wow.
You got I think Ford, you could get one when it went above a 450, which you get in a light truck then,
Okay.
But you can't order a standard. I tried a special order one and I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few. I just don't want to do a stick anymore, but I know you get better transmission, you get smoother this and that, you get better gas mileage. There's a few advantages of having a manual.
I love a manual.
Yeah, I'm just tired of all that shifting and leg kicking and all that. But Ron, I got two shoulders that are shot. I've had surgery on one, and I have this arm that I blew the bicep off the forearm, and they took it and reattached it. So I'm not much good for all that shift. Ouch! Even that hurt. All that shifting. I should really have surgery on this one. This is the one that's messed up because I'm right-handed. So Kim says from North and South Homestead said she lived in Elkhart, Indiana, and she had this loved a restaurant called Allie's. Oops, but it's no longer there. Well, I only lived there when I was from, I could say zero, but 0 to 5. And I remember going to this restaurant. I remember two things: picket white fence. I don't know if it was across the street, parking lot, here or there. But the thing I remember was the red apples, sliced dark red apples. It was a garnish. I don't even know what it was, but it it was just dark red. You know what I mean, Rondi? It's
Yeah,
a
no.
a garnish on the side. Oh my gosh, that was so good.
I pulled
But
into Elkhart, Indiana, and I thought, well, we're gonna get something to eat,
yeah,
and checked in a motel there, and I walked outside and looked, and there was a Texas Roadhouse right next door.
yeah.
Now, what's the odds of a Texas boy doing that?
I get it. I get it. Okay, Texas chili, beans or no beans?
No bean, not for me.
What is it? I don't get it. I'm from Idaho, and my dad made some really good chili, and we soaked the beans overnight, and did what you do, and that's I grew up on beans and chili. But
I
how
like
can you have chili without beans there, Ron?
the well, you got meat and everything else in them. You
Well,
go to
what's the
one of
everything else though?
you go to a chili cook off here,
Yeah.
and there won't be one out of 1,000 that has beans in it.
Dang. Well, okay. So of course, because of the mask thing we got going here, because of the big C, the big V, is we have a chili cook-off in Reno. We have the hot August nights with the hot cars and all that, but they also have a chili barbecue ribs one time, and then chili another time. And I want to go there because, like you're saying, they have the cook-offs, and a lot of these guys get in deep. I mean, they're serious cookers, right? And I
Oh
want to see
yeah,
how many have beans.
they
Because
that's just not
yeah,
popular down here.
wow. But over in Louisiana, it is
Yeah, and that's like I love Mexican food, or I
okay.
love Tex-Mex.
Tex-Mex.
You go to New Mexico, and it's a completely different taste to it. You go to Arizona, it's a completely different taste. Texas is completely different. You go to Old Mexico,
Yeah,
and the food down there is just as bland as can be
in Mexico,
in Mexico and
across the border.
across the border.
Yeah,
It's funny,
yeah.
but
Well, you think it may because a little poorer and they just have to use what they got and they don't have all the spices or something, or
now they've got the spices, but they'll set them
they?
on the table,
Uh-huh. Oh,
and
okay.
you add what you want. In other words, if you want it hot,
Oh,
or
okay.
there's plenty of stuff that's
Yeah.
hot, and now I like that.
Red beans, rice, and sausage.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
Well, I think I'll.
I like beans.
Yeah.
They but it just I heard you ask that other night.
Yeah. Well, because I'm just shocked because I've gotten a can. I went out of my way to get a chili with no beans. Okay. Because my neighbor says, "Oh, I don't like it. I got to have no beans." I'm going. I never heard such thing. I didn't take note that there wouldn't be beans because all I knew was beans. Because all the chilies I go and buy is beans, and I grew up on beans. So I'm going. I didn't know that was a thing. So I was saying, Ron, I went out of my way to get those chili with no beans, and I didn't care for it. It was just like slop. I'm just going. Well, that's like spaghetti sauce. I just didn't get the logic. Is that's all I know.
Yeah, it's what you're used to.
Yeah, I don't even know how to say it's like it's not this or not that, but it's like wow.
That's like when I went up north. When I went to Elkhart, they like starved me to death. They don't
Little
eat up
helpings.
there like they eat in Texas now.
Oh gosh, yes.
Uh,
Well, I did it the other night. Yeah, it was last night. I I outdid myself. Okay, so at happy hour, which is from 2 to 6 at this restaurant, right? Bar, and they serve really good food. They have 3 tacos for $6. They're chicken tacos. That's a medium-sized tortilla, like probably, I don't know, 7 inches across, 6, 7 inches, and it is full of chicken. And you get 3 of those for $6. And I'm just rolling out of there when I left. I was like, huge. Oh my gosh, it's really good. Okay, let me catch up here. So we got chili is chili. I don't think so. Cajun, you know better than that. Ron says they got to have no beans. Okay, hot dog chili, no beans. Yeah, I could see that. Regular chili, yes, there's beans, but overloaded with them, no. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't want them to take over. And hi, Lorraine. Thank you for coming in. Yes, appreciate you. Yeah, real Mexico, bland, no taste. Yeah, I think and Kim would know. She's growing some food. Okay, saying hi. Naj, most likely food is bland because of tourists, huh? You think so, Ron?
Mm,
So they don't want to turn
I don't
anybody
know.
away because man,
That's everybody I've been around. That's just the way they cook.
because I could see that. That's a good point because it's amazing how some people just really can't stand spices. They just, no, it's got to taste like water. But there's a few of us out there that can handle the heat. I like flavor heat. So, or Southland chili dog. Yeah, you guys are making me hungry now with these chili dogs. I haven't had that for a long time. Love me some spicy chili. My mom can't do it. See that?
Oh,
Yep.
I can't stand sweet chili now. Oof.
Yeah. Yeah. At least you out of hot peppers. Yeah, you got to put them on the side.
I like pepper. And they're just,
Yeah. Huh.
I,
Sweet for her. Yeah. Pork and beans.
I,
Now,
that
since this.
that was one thing I noticed about up north. The food up there is a lot sweeter than it is down
Ooh,
south.
yep.
And don't
Now.
ask for a glass of iced tea or sweet tea up there. They look
Then
at
they
you
know
like,
you're the southern and they'll say,
yeah. Most of them look
y'all.
at you like, what the hell you talking about?
Of course it's sweet. No, it's like weird. Yeah. Tea is something that's quite different. Yeah. All right. So Cajun says you got to try some Louisiana chili. It has no beans. Okay. But yeah, you got me savoring with that rice and red beans because I just cooked a sausage, so I can do rice and beans with that. Okay. Yep. There you go. And I like the
You
flavor, not the heat too. Yes, flavor. Flavor. I have chipotle. I have lots of chipotle stuff. It's not that hot. Beans and rice and sausage dish. Yes. Yeah, I think I'll have that tomorrow. Or I did some I did some whitefish and some Louisiana beer batter. Ooh, yeah, that was good. And I didn't use beer because I don't have any left, right? I used one of my energy drinks. I don't have one handy. It was lime energy drink, and it's 35% fruit juices and then carbonation, right? And that was pretty good because they wanted the soda water or beer that has the bubbles in it for the batter for beer batter.
you ever go down on the coast in Louisiana and drink any of that coffee down there?
Oh, I haven't had any of that.
Ooh,
Jason?
yeah, you ain't lying. It'll melt
Lord,
the end
no.
off a spoon.
Oh God, really? Wow. Yes, for tea up north, y'all's nasty on sweetened brain. Yep. Southern girl here. Give me some sweet tea. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Kim. Yep. That sounds good. Delicious sounding. Yeah, all of it is.
I bet
Oh my goodness. We done burned up an hour already. Thank you guys.
I bet
I
that
should have
Cajun
popped up.
Marine knows about that chicory coffee.
Mm-hmm. So are you fond of that coffee then? Or
I
just
don't like
regular?
it. It's too
No.
bitter for
No.
me.
No. I like a dark roast, but I don't like it. It's like beer. I don't want an IPA. I don't like hops. I don't like that bitter aftertaste. Um, So, but I didn't know that a lighter coffee has more caffeine. People go, "Oh, I like it dark and strong." Well, that's not where the caffeine is because it's been cooked out of it. I say it's a darker one's been cooked longer.
Hmm. I never had thought about that.
So a lighter brew coffee has more caffeine in it. I'm going. Somebody's told me. Chicory coffee, huh? There it is.
Yep. He knows what it is.
There you go. Of course, he's down under. Chicory. Okay. Yep. North South, I agree. Give me sweet tea only. Yep. I think of that. Like an Arnold Palmer, where you put mixed lemonade in it. You guys do that? Or is that a sin?
What do you mean, Mick?
Well, iced tea and lemonade mixed is an Arnold Palmer, the golfer.
Oh, okay.
That mix, yeah, yeah. So if you're tired of one, you say, well, let's mix them. Yeah. I have a buddy here from Cali that likes those.
It's funny. Every part of the country got different tastes.
Well, it's like that word soda or a pop or soda pop.
Or Coke.
I've never gotten that nailed down. I don't even know what I asked for because I don't drink it. But
Everything in Texas is Coke.
see that? Well, because originally everything was called a Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it became a cola. And then the name brand, so it's Coke. But it's like those inline skates are called rollerblades. Those paper towels in a square box are called a Kleenex. No, they're a tissue. So it's like the first thing that's out gets the name.
They're like styrofoam.
Yeah.
That
Oh.
Dow Chemical come up with it. That's not a brand.
Ooh. I hadn't heard of that one, but you're right. All right. Chicory put the coffee. Oh. Yeah. Really? Ruin the coffee. But don't ask me. I think all coffee smells a little skinky. Yep. Well, I actually love the smell of coffee, but now I think you just ruined it for me. Dirty, stinky feet. Oh my goodness. You must get in the wrong kind, girl. I ain't
I
heard that one
did
yet.
something. I did something here a while back. They were talking about the homestead
Yeah.
that we sort of. I'm not a prepper, but I
Mhm.
believe in being ready for anything that comes up.
Okay.
And so, in fact, we're putting a water system in right now. But I made some. If I see if I can pronounce it right, pemmican. And
Okay.
what it is jerky ground up and beef tallow and fruits and nuts and stuff like that are put
Okay.
in. And it's got like 100-year storage life. It's what
Okay.
the Indians survived on.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I put up about 35 pounds of that stuff.
Holy moly.
And then the other thing was what they call hardtack or ship's biscuit.
Yeah.
Well, I put up about 35 pounds of that.
Holy moly.
And then I killed a couple of deer and I jerked both of them deer, made jerky out of it.
Yeah.
So I've got stuff just sitting there right there that I can go 6, 8 months on.
Oh
with
yeah.
just with those three things, plus what else I've got stored around.
Look at that one. Well, that's more than prepping because that's 2 levels higher, man. That's deep. Yeah,
Well,
because
you
most
got it.
people just buy cans of shoot.
Yeah, you got to eat and you got to drink. Those two things are necessary.
Yeah. Well, see, that's let's go prepping for a minute. Lots of preppers think you need like 40 pounds of rice and beans, baby. Well, as I was saying, when I grew up, we washed our beans, okay, and we soaked our beans, but you don't use that water for cooking them beans, right? And same with the rice. And I even got tips from little old Asian ladies. They said, yeah, you have to wash your rice like 6, 7, 8 times for all that starch to get washed off. You want that water clear. And so both of those take way too much water to be prepping. Right?
Well, you just got to change the way you do things. I mean,
that's one. Yeah, you can't do that.
and we're putting in right now. We're putting in 6,000 gallon, 3,000 gallon tank,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
so we're in
Good.
Texas. It gets dry, and you got to water
Yeah.
garden sometime.
Yeah.
I've
I'd
done
like to
that.
learn to make that.
I've taken it's all over the internet. You look at it.
Okay.
I did a meal or a couple meals on it. Went fishing, and that's all I carried. And I
Huh.
just crushed it. The hardtack's so hard that you can't bite it,
Oh, great.
and that's why it keeps so long because there's no moisture in it. But you can
Yeah.
grind it up. I ground it up and threw it in a cup of water, and took a few pieces of jerky and threw in there,
Yeah.
and then one of them little pemmican blocks. And man, I was full as a tick. Just you could have made it
Wow.
easy on that.
Yeah. Yeah, because it still has all the fats and stuff. And like they're saying here, that they're washing and soaking their beans and washing the rice 3-4 times or whatnot. But in a grid down situation, we'll call it, you don't need to wash that because you're going to need all the nutrition you can get. You're going to need all that starch. You're going to need whatever you got. And the hardtack, man, it's fat. It's like Spam. It's got so much fat in it that you're going to need all that stuff. Wouldn't you
Well,
say?
the other thing too that
Yeah.
you don't think about, like even in my travel trailer, I've got one of these Berkeley water filters,
Okay.
and you would not believe you can even put bottled water in that thing and run it through that Berkeley and make coffee with it. And you can tell all the difference in the world.
Wow.
So I've got a couple portable Berkeleys and a big one here. Um,
Yeah.
so I could use that to wash the rice and beans and then run it through that Berkeley.
Mm.
And it's supposed to take 999.999% of crap
Yep.
out of it, And so I can reuse that water that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so,
Okay. Yeah, you're right. So you throw your rice in the Berkey filter
no,
a couple of times. No.
just the water.
Yeah. Yeah.
They,
I can mix it up. So yeah, put the water back in and filter the starch
yeah,
out. Yeah. And they say what, 3,000 gallons is what those Berkey filters are good for?
yeah.
Like that. And I'm fixing to make one of those because what's the Berkey system cost?
It's
Like,
right now they're up about $300.
yeah. Okay. But I guess you can get the filters for half that because it's all about the filters.
You look on Amazon. I think I found some other day that I could buy for $100 for a pair.
Okay. Yeah.
And they do a good job. I've got some
Oh yeah.
small ones too.
Okay. Because I went out of my way and I bought 2 stainless steel cooking pots, that really cheap thin ones, so I knew I could drill through them to make a Berkey.
And I tell you what, if you ever get used to it, I don't drink a drop of water
Oh.
that doesn't go through that Berkey.
Oh, absolutely.
And what got me started on that, when I was pulling RVs, the one thing where you would get sick would be on the road, and you'd be drinking water from different water systems,
Yeah.
and it'd make you sick half the time.
Oh yeah.
And
Well,
so we started drinking bottled water then. That was a
yeah.
lot better. And then after we came back home, I went to the Berkey.
Yeah. Yeah. So Kim's saying, yeah, she's found them for $100 a
Yeah.
set too, and you can get more than one set going too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But and especially when they last for, I think it was 30,000.
No, it's 3,000 gallons.
Yeah, it is 3,000 gallons. That's a lot of. Do the math. If you're only doing a gallon a day, let's get crazy and say one person alone was doing 2 gallons a day. Well, that's 365. So that's times 10. So that's good 8 years,
Yeah.
right? Oh my goodness.
And you
And
can
then go wild. So
back flush them and everything else,
yeah.
And
So if you did that every other month, wow.
but I've got one of the small Berkeleys too
Okay.
that I use when I'm camping and that kind of.
Yeah, it's the mobile one. It's what, only what?
Yeah, it's got a bottle of about like a quart. at
Oh,
a time, and they work
oh,
good.
a little tiny one. Yeah, yeah. It's all about the filter. Yeah,
If
I
you ever
have.
start using one, you won't never be without it.
Well, I live in a town where we use a lot of oh, what are they called? Swamp coolers, right? And every year that's all crusted up just after what 4 or 5 months of summer where you're using the local water, and they're all crusted up with their lime and minerals on there. And this old timer saying, "Yeah, I have to buy one of these faucets for the float every year." And I go, "Well, no, let me look into that." And I fixed it for him. He went, "Holy moly. Yeah, it's just so crusted up. Didn't even think that he could fix it." But anyhow, what I was getting at is I go to the Walmart and I use their filtered water. Yeah, it's 39 cents a gallon, but I'm not drinking this junk, man. I ain't drank probably 2, 3 cups of water since I've been in this state. It's just disgusting.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
you get that Berkeley,
Hmm.
and you'll be amazed how much better the water to taste than the filtered water does.
Oh
You can
yeah.
run that filtered water through it, and
Yeah.
it adds it's
I would
something
still
else.
do that because I've got I bought 4 of the square stackable jugs, and then I have 2 5-gallon jugs, the round ones. And sometimes I get a weird plastic taste, and I don't know if it's the water or the jug.
Yeah,
And I'm
maybe
yeah,
I need
and
to
they're all the blue ones. Go ahead.
I need to answer phone right quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, okay. I'll put you on mute too. All right, cool. All right, so what do we got here? 5 pound rice has 50 servings in it. Okay, a 4 pound bag of pinto beans has 52 servings. That's meal a day for a year. You don't have to starve. Yeah, so a 5 pound bag of rice has 50 servings? I might eat more rice than that. A 5 pound bag has 50 servings? I don't think so. 5 pounds. Oh, I only have 1 pound bags. And I use probably a quarter cup to me. Do I get 10 out of 1 pound? That'd be the question. So do I get 10 servings out of a pound of rice? 1, 2, 3, 4. I might get 8. I might get 8 servings out of 1 pound of rice because I have the 1 pound bags. And the beans, 4 pounds of pinto beans, that's 52 servings. Well, that's once a week. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I had a buddy that lived on rice and beans for like, I don't know, maybe even a year. And it was well over 6 months. And he lost, oh my gosh, probably 60 pounds. I didn't even recognize him when I saw him again. That's a meal a day for a year. Well, no, that's 50 weeks in a year. So rice and beans as a meal. Yeah, you won't starve. Even if you only ate one meal a week. I should cut back. Yeah, I'm the biggest I've ever been. I'm not liking what I see. Okay, you can get a filter for, yep. I will look into that because I need to get that done, and it's beans that all right, let me turn you back on there, Ron. Okay. All right, hope it's all well.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Bottled water is just tap water. Yeah, yeah. So Kim's saying, yeah. So they've proven it. I've seen so many shows that have said, hey, this fancy water you're getting is just tap water and barely filtered in some aspects. Yeah.
And sometimes it's worse than the city water is.
Oh gosh. Not mine. I know that one, but I just don't like it when people buy, cases and cases of one single bottle of water. I can understand if you got kids, you got to, you know, but get a reusable jug and buy the gallons, please. That's just so much freaking waste out there. It does, geez. Looks like a bag before you typed it. Yep.
Well, Gillian, sometimes here in the next few weeks, you ought
Yeah.
to check my channel out. I'm
Yes,
building
sir.
another airboat,
Okay.
and we're going to do a bunch of trips on that river. I'm
Well,
next
if
to the Brazos
Dana,
River.
are you here? Can you drop Ron's link? can do that. I don't know. You can put it in the private chat and I can drop it then too.
I don't
It
even
would
know.
work. I'm sure I'm subscribed, but I don't know. There's so many. I saw it today. 995 is that I'm subscribed to. I think it'll cut it off. Yes, so now it's 5 pounds will last you 9 days. Okay, I believe that. Yeah. Oh, and that's 5 pounds? Ooh, I think it'd last me longer than that. I don't know. I don't need a lot. I don't need a lot of rice, but I have a little rice cooker that a Chinese lady said this is the one I wanted to get, and I got the next level up because it has a timer on it, so I can put the rice in there and set it for a time and like have it when I come home fresh. So that's it. And then it's got a little basket so I can do steamed vegetables in it too. But what I found out is that I'm just cooking white rice. If I put like broccoli in there, it goes way too long. It makes it mush. And ideally, when you cook rice on the stove, you don't open it. Right, Ron? You bring it to a simmer, you stir it, you bring it to a simmer, put the lid on it, turn it off, and set it to the back and let it set for 20 minutes or something like that. You bring it to a boil and then put it on simmer. You cover it, yeah. Anyhow, I haven't done it for a while. Okay, 5 pounds for 9 days. I think that lasts me longer. Hope so. Okay, just seems the type of meal. I meant a meal a week. Yep, absolutely, meal a week. Yeah, rice and beans, 52 weeks. 1 second, please. Okay, she's working on it. Aquafina water, right? Tap Darnell water. Yep, all tap. Lies, lies, lies. Yep. And what's weird is some of them are put out by Coke and Pepsi. They're bottled water. Do they want us to drink the sugar stuff or the watery stuff? Oh. Is that it, Ron? She found you?
I think so. I never have got my URL. I need to do that.
Okay. I got
But
something.
you're going to see on my channel, there's going to be a lot of different ways that you can pull time.
Yeah.
That's sort of what I'm specializing in. I've got a motorcycle with a sidecar. I do a lot of traveling with.
Ooh, nice.
Me and that dog do.
Nice.
And then this river business, I'm going to set it up to where basically you can get on that river and live forever.
All right.
And, you know,
Oh, yeah.
like where I live is 450 something miles to the Gulf Coast.
Wow.
And there's no dams. It's open river.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
you know, you could stay on that river for a year.
Right.
And people act like they've got to have $50,000 to buy an RV to get into this lifestyle, and you don't have to.
No.
You can take your car and a good camping setup and be comfortable.
Well, I bought one of them collapsible ladders the other day. I don't know if you heard this story, but so it's a 12.5 foot collapsible ladder. It's worth $180. I saw one on another marketplace for $180 for the 8.5 foot one, right? I paid $80, so stole it, right? But I go over to this guy's house to get it. He has a 2020 new Mustang Ford hot rod car, right? He had a 2019 Ford F-250, brand spanking new, like big truck, right? Behind the fence, he had a brand new 2021 24-foot RV. Ron, he paid $110,000 for it.
Oh yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I saw I walked in a Provost up there in Elkhart, and
Thanks, dear.
$3 million.
Oh my God.
You know, if I had $100 million, I couldn't see that. You know.
No. Wow. Kim, I'm sure she appreciates that.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
That's very nice.
Wow. I don't know. Do I even have I don't expect anybody to go back and watch my lives. They're 2 hours long minimum, I'd say. You know, just the last one was 3. I don't see. Here we are, just having a good old chat, and it's an hour and a half, and it's like no big deal, right? So, but the trick is,
you need me to get down off this thing, let somebody else come up?
Oh no, nobody's gonna come up. That's just you and I, buddy. I appreciate you much, really do, because you've done a live, haven't you? You're
I
on live.
I never have but one. I
Okay.
just did one. I sort of got out of YouTube for about
Yeah,
6 or 8 months, and then I'm getting back into it now.
sure. But if you're doing content, I don't recommend doing lives. I'm not on the road. I'm not. I don't know how to freaking edit. I'm in school. My brain's really there. This is a stress reliever to me. I'm just out here BSing with y'all. So
To me, the lives are they're just fun.
yeah. So and I hope y'all hold me to this. I don't give a rat's tail feather when or if I get monetized. Yeah, I want to get 1,000, 10,000, 50,000 peeps eventually. But my first vision right now, I'm at 250. His next one would be 300, then 500, then 1,000. But I'm not going to have, oh, look, I got monetized party. I want to have a party that I appreciate every one of you guys coming here and being my friend. You know, let's just have some good old chats and have some times.
Well, you
But
do pick hours up off this, don't you?
oh yeah, of course. But
Yeah.
it's going to take, with the estimated calculation, it will take until exactly 1 year from now to get 1,000 subscribers. And I have no idea how to do any calculations of watch time. So until I put out some content and do, live streams two times a week, even, I don't see how I get 4,000 watch hours for another year. So it'll be almost 2 years before I see, at the rate I'm going, before I would be quote monetized. But to say that I have 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 peeps, and I hate to call them subs. I like calling peeps or friends. I think several of us do. But I don't want it. I don't want to focus on that. And Lucretia, she wanted no. It was a no. She's really upset about it that she can't go live from the ship. Is Saucy the towboat chef?
That's
She's
awesome.
really freaking pissed off at Facebook. I mean, UStream here, right?
I know Saucy.
You saw that, right? You know her
Yeah, I
personally. You
see.
saw her, right? You know how freaking pissed she is, right?
Oh yeah, she's a
Oh yeah.
trip.
Oh, she's a trip. She's been at this for what, 3 years now, and she's got less than 900. She says she can't even get to 8. They just keep dropping off. They keep doing all and changing this stuff, right? Well, she's got onto another platform and she wants to say to this one. But the deal is that I'm on StreamYard and I could go live anywhere. Like right now, I'm live, right? I don't understand what she's saying that she can't go live. I have
Probably
I don't know what she means. She
it,
wants to do it
it
from a different location.
it's
Is it from her
internet.
phone? Huh?
Yeah, well, it's the internet. They're moving. They're inside a steel boat.
No, no,
That
no.
kind of stuff.
She's
And
saying she can't go live on what the hell are we on?
StreamYard.
YouTube. They won't let her go live from YouTube. But I'm on this platform and I can go live any darn time I want. And she
Yeah, I
uses
think
this. I don't think she understands um the power of this platform. StreamYard.
that I if you don't have good internet,
Yes, that too. But
it
that's not what
it'll
she's
just
typing about, my man.
it'll just sit there and break up.
Trust me.
You know,
Oh yeah,
it's
trust me though. I know about bad internet. That's why I can't do a lot of lives. But no, she's upset that she can't go live because of YouTube.
I don't know why that would be.
Yeah. Well, YouTube alone you can't, but on StreamYard I can. I'm on the platform on StreamYard. I schedule it. I hit live and I'm on live and it says go to send this stream to
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
on StreamYard too.
right. And that's why she's upset so much about only having like 800 friends, because you have to have 1,000 to go live from a location on YouTube. And that's not true if you're using StreamYard. Because I did
I
it
don't
long
know.
before I even had 100. Oh yeah.
It, Saucy is she's pretty hot headed, and I
Yeah,
know
she's
she's
spicy.
done a lot of lives.
Yeah.
You know, and well, there's something
So
crazy going on there. I
yeah,
met her at
yeah,
you hear them talk about that Lollapalooza.
right.
That well, I went to that thing, and I
Yeah.
met Blind Views and
Yep.
Saucy and a bunch of them.
Papa.
Papa and Frugal and
And Badge and
Ag,
Nomadic. Yep. Yep.
and so I met all them. And
Wow.
that was funny. I just took my motorcycle with my sidecar and my camping gear in the sidecar and
Oh my
put
goodness.
that little dog in the back, and we took
Yeah.
off. And sitting up next to them $50,000 RVs, that was sort of funny.
Okay, let's see. I didn't even read this one yet. The RV leavings cost. I was so here and I was talking about. I thought I didn't spread their monthly cost. The month here on 36 acres, I would never be able to RV like those RVers. Yeah, there's an extreme for spending money out there. I think the average is at least $1,000 a month. I think
You can
that's a
do
good
that
average.
easy.
Yeah.
Well, there's people on here that I followed that are doing it on $400 a month.
Yeah. But they're
And
not driving very much.
yeah,
They're trying to stay for 2 weeks here and 2 weeks there, I bet.
yeah, and they're going to Arizona and staying out
Right.
there in the wintertime. And there's ways you can do it cheap as hell now. I mean, you can go to a Quartzsite and get on that LTV. I've been out there before a couple times.
Right.
$180 for 7 months.
Yep. Yep.
You know, and then
Yeah,
you go
I have
to New Mexico,
yeah.
and they've got a state permit you can buy for $225 that you can, if you're boondocking, you can stay at the state park for nothing.
Wow.
And if you need electricity and water, I think it's like $4 or $8 a night, something like that.
Okay.
So there's some ways you can do it.
Yeah. I don't so the land value probably won't go down. They'll stay the same or gain value. Houses can. The market, I don't know, the market's gonna be weird. There's two ways to think about this. They think they will have a crash of the market because of the big V, right? People losing their jobs. But there's also the reverse of that is that when it's over, right, back to normal, right, 2023-ish, right, that some landlords will be sick and tired of people saying, "Oh, I couldn't pay my bills because of this and that," right? They'll get kicked out, and so there'll be a lot more homeless people, or they did lose their job and they can't pay their bills. A lot more homeless people. So where are they going to go? If the housing market crashes, they're going to have to go to apartments, and those prices will be going up because they're going, "Oh, you have a job? I have to charge you more. I don't trust you." Yeah, it doesn't sound good for the future of homes.
That's the reason that you go to an RV place,
Yeah.
it's anywhere from 4 months to a year to get an RV in now.
Now, oh my goodness.
And what the deal, I was sort of wanting to buy a new cab over.
Hmm.
And I went down and talked to a dealer, and he said it'd be 6 months before I have another one in. It
Yeah.
but and I turned around and looked at him. I said, "What's the deal?" I said, "Is when they quit paying these, you know, right now,
Yeah.
somebody can be renting a place and not having to pay any rent right now, or not having to make house payments. And when
Yeah.
that's all over with, so there's
Yep.
a lot of people that lost their jobs and stuff, and while they still got good credit, they're buying an RV to live in.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
wise.
and
Yeah.
but in another year now, RVs will be cheap.
Yeah, that too.
You know,
Right. Is the transition to go, well, that didn't work, or we don't need this anymore. Yeah, in 2 years, I think they'll really drop.
yeah, they will.
So, but here's the thing. Okay, on that note, then, Ron. Okay, I've had two people put notes on my RV and said, "Yeah, I'd like to buy your RV." I only paid $3,000 for it. Okay, it's a '99. It's in rough shape right now. If I cleaned it up, the minimum I could see that I have is a minimum of 7 to 10,000. And then if I put all my solar into it, I have 4 to 5,000 into my solar. Depends on which way you look. Oh yeah, I have 4 lithium batteries. Those are
No,
four thousand dollars,
lithiums
right?
are high. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I have 4,000 in batteries. I have probably 1,000 in the solar panels and the charge controller, and I'm going to add another $1,200 for the inverter charger. Now, I would take the inverter charger out, I'd take the charge controller out, and I would take out the lithium batteries. So minimum, I would take 5 away from that. and I still think that I could get $15,000 for my $3,000 RV with
Yeah,
just solar panels and fixed up.
you probably can. I've got a
Yeah,
213 casita,
yeah,
and I've threatened to sell it a couple times. I paid
yeah.
19,000 for it in
Okay.
213.
Yeah.
Right now, it's a year wait and $26,000 for that same trailer. I
Wow.
could get 22, 23,000 right quick,
Yeah.
because somebody wants to move in it tomorrow.
Well, put it for
Or-
25 and see what you can get it down to, you know?
Oh, I've been offered 23 for
Yeah.
it, and just
Well,
I
then
don't know.
say
I've
25 and
got
a handshake.
I've got a reason for hanging on to it. I got a couple
Yeah.
kids that
Yeah.
are young, and
Yeah.
you know, eh, the same scenario with them. They both got good jobs, but if something was to happen, at least they'd have someplace to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That's
was
bad.
laughing here at this 12 people in your live streams for 5 minutes is an hour. I'm going,
Yeah,
wow, there we go.
yeah, that's
And
right.
I average that, I think. If I do 3 hours, so that's at least 3 hours of watch time when I do a
That's right.
live. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up. It's better than trying to do, like I said earlier, is like, yeah, editing and posting and recording and editing again and uploading and all that. Dude, I hit a button and I go to bed. Yeah, I said that out loud. I hit end over here and I say goodnight. That's it, buddy.
Some of
Oh
it
my goodness.
I enjoy doing, uh,
Lives, yeah.
but I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just
Yeah.
if I'm not going to do what some of these people do, go buy a drone and on a lot of the YouTube channels that I watch, it drives me crazy with the damn loud ass music.
Yeah.
I'd rather I don't I'm not going to a beer joint to listen to music, you know.
Yeah.
And so I don't put any of that stuff on mine.
Say that again.
I just I'll never buy a drone or put music
Mm-hmm.
on any of my videos.
Music. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
half the time it's allowed, you can't hear what's going on.
Oh man.
It
Yeah.
drives me crazy.
Yeah. I hate that too when somebody will do a quiet, oh, look at this little park here. And then they'll turn on their drive and the music cranked. And it's YouTube music, it's okay, but it's just they didn't balance it at all. And it's like, ouch. And then they talk and it's really quiet. I can't hear you. And then they crank it up again. Yeah. I would rather not edit than do that. I mean, we all got to learn. We all got to learn. But I think, how do you give them criticism? How do you give them feedback that, you
Yeah,
know?
YouTube gonna do what the hell they want to. They don't care.
Yeah, that too. No, no, no. I mean, for the person editing and that puts the video out there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but some people are crazy about it.
Yeah.
It's just different strokes for different folks. And it's like we were talking about the prepping a while ago.
Yeah.
And when this storm hit down here in Texas, it's ice storm and snowstorm down here. I saw people running out of stuff. I never missed a lick. I
Right.
mean, I had everything I needed, and I
Yeah.
stayed warm. And a lot of these people were in a house without any camping gear and all electric home. But when
Wow.
electricity went off, they're screwed.
Yeah,
You
way
know,
screwed.
and it just I don't know, and
Well, and as I say this on many of the times that I'm on and people are bringing up like we're doing here, is that two is one and one is none. Because if it breaks, like your home, if it's all electric, that's only one. You
that's
have
right.
no other heat sources, you're screwed. That's none. So if you have two heat sources and one goes out, you're still okay. So he's got four, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I lived in a 5,000 square foot house, and there was two fireplaces, and one was a pellet stove, and one was a wood stove. Okay, so that's two different sources of heat right there. I would have also had gas. Oh, look, Nate from Land Clown. Nice, buddy. And we're talking a little bit of prepping, tires, a whole bunch of stuff, buddy. Chime in if you can. So, what was your 4 heat sources there, buddy?
Well, I had, like I say, I'm in a travel trailer,
Okay.
so our electricity was intermittent. It was coming on and off. It might stay off 4 hours and then come on for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Nate's here. Oh my Lord,
I know you want to
neighborhood
go.
went.
Okay, buddy, I'll let you go. No.
The neighborhood went downhill quick.
Is that what that noise in the background? Okay.
No, but I had the propane
Yeah.
in that, and when the electricity was on, I also had electric heater in that thing.
Yeah.
And then I had a barbecue pit sitting outside that was propane.
Yeah.
And then I had gas heaters, that the little camping heaters that
Okay.
run
Little
off
buddies.
of propane
Yeah.
on the outside.
Right
And
on.
then I had a wood fire pit right outside the trailer. Well, I
Wow.
guess that's 5, isn't it?
Sure enough. Yeah.
And plus, I had a generator,
Okay.
and we didn't miss a lick. I mean, we weren't inconvenienced at all. I had plenty of water,
Wow.
but I did go get some extra water before it started.
Oh, yeah.
We knew it was coming.
Well, yeah, that's the advantage of bad weather. I mean, you pretty much know that it's coming. You're not expecting to have the power go out, but if you know you need a few things stocked up.
Well, the thing that scares me worse than anything else, and especially in Texas, is that they're going to get into that grid one of these days and knock that thing out where it's out for a month or something. And that's this country going to come apart when that happens. Because you don't have water when you don't have electricity, you don't have
You
sewer,
don't have a toilet.
you don't have gas, and you don't have fuel to run. All that,
I think the biggest downfall would be not having a toilet. Because unless you've
I've got
never
that.
pooped in a bucket, they don't know what the hell they're going to do. And I will say that too, out loud. They will not know the hell. Yeah.
Well, like I say, I had my travel trailer. I had 50 gallons of storage for the black tank on my travel trailer.
Yeah, that's big.
Then I had a bucket set up with the lid that went on it that I could go to if I needed to. And like I say, it wasn't stuff that cost a whole lot, And like groceries, I'd go to the grocery store, and if I needed 3 cans of beans, I bought 4.
There you go.
And put 1 back. and then just rotated it coming on back.
And that's what they say. Prepping is only buying just a little bit more. I had my last roommate was a father of 2 kids, and I had 4 times as much food in my pantry than he did for the 3 of them. He could not go a week. Well, I bet he could go 3 weeks in his pantry. I could go at least 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had people down here just crying the blues. Oh, we need some help. It's the government's fault, blah, 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 blah. And I guarantee you, those same people, when everything got straightened out, didn't go in and put a damn thing up.
No.
Somebody needed to do it for them.
Yeah. Man, this Kim girl, she's got it under control.
Yeah.
Dang.
Well,
everybody go watch her channel. Somebody put her link in the description here, because we need more knowledge like this young lady's been putting out. Everything we've talked about tonight, she's done that, got that. Yep, I'm ready. I'm good. Yep. Well, appreciate that prepping.
If I get into it, my buddy's house, I lease this place from. He got a septic tank I can tie into.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do that unless I have to.
Fire pit, propane heater. Yep. See, is that what, 3? Grill? No, 4. So the stove, the grill, the fire pit, and the propane heater. Those are heat and cooking.
Yeah. Well, it's like in every travel trailer, you got an oven and you got a 3-burner stove,
Yep. Yeah, I wonder why they went from 4 to 3.
This room.
Well, Badge up in Canada, he took out his 3-burner to put in an old 4-burner.
Now, see, and if it was up to me, I'd take that 3 burner out and put a 1 burner in.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, if it's just you, yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
in fact,
Well,
I do most of my cooking on that outside propane grill.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Homesteads. Yeah. Yep.
There you go.
Excellent is next. Wow. Yep.
Well, you know what got me started doing this when when
I know that, Dana.
the hurricanes come in
Mhm.
on the coast, Ike and Katrina. I
Mhm.
had friends that lived down there, and the ones that had travel trailers and had a little stuff stacked up and had a generator, they made it pretty good. The other ones, after 3 or 4 days, they didn't have bathrooms, water, nothing, and they stayed without for 6 weeks.
Wow.
Well, then my wife got sick. Well, she was on oxygen. She couldn't get off oxygen more than 15 minutes or she'd pass out.
Whoa.
So I had 4 systems on her as far as oxygen. I had a 110 generator. I had a
Mhm.
12-volt generator. I had an inverter in my pickup to where I could run one if I needed to.
That's nice.
And then the portable bottle. And then I was a welder, so I had 2 big oxygen bottles.
Okay. Wow.
And luckily, uh, our house was a pretty new house, and there was an alley behind us, and they'd run an electric line down that alley, just a short line, and they had a bad storm come through, knocked that electricity out, and the electricity stayed out for 5 days. And
Wow.
again, I had with my generator and everything, I kept my deep freezers running. I didn't lose
Right.
anything. But
And was that in the spring or the fall when that happened, or summer?
that was in the spring.
Okay. So it wasn't too hot yet, right?
No, but
But
I
you
could
still
run
had
the air
enough.
conditioner if I wanted to.
Okay, but I was thinking of the freezer because I got a mini fridge right here, and then that freezer, the main freezer in the fridge, is clear full. Yeah, I would lose probably $1,000 worth of food if my power went out here.
Well, see, I had a generator and I could run it 45 minutes,
Yeah,
every 4 or 5 hours, and
yeah,
they never defrosted.
right. Yeah, first
And
thing is tape them shut so you don't open
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
In fact, I do have a piece of tape on my main fridge because it's so darn full, and if something settled, it'd kick the door open. So if I'm gone, when I leave here, I'm gone 10, 12 hours. And if that freezer door fell open, things would fall on the floor or start defrosting. And so I tape it shut.
yeah,
Yeah, I took out of here for a couple, like 3 days or so, and I taped it shut.
yeah.
Yep.
It's refrigeration. That's why I did the pemmican and the ship biscuits and that kind of stuff, because there
Right.
wasn't any refrigeration on that.
Yeah.
And I haven't got solar hooked up on my trailers yet.
Right.
I will have before too long.
Yeah.
I've got one panel and one deal that's just loose. I've just got it sitting on a trailer.
Yeah.
So I've got a small system. I can put in 100 watts.
Well,
But
good you comment on that. That's what I want to come on here. So it says so they have the lights for the 8 hours, the rechargeable batteries, candles, oils, and small solar, but it's not hooked up yet. And so I'm in solar class at school, and I know more than my teacher. And now I have a new teacher that was relying on the previous teacher, so he knows less than the previous teacher. And that teacher called him and said, "Listen to George, he knows more than I do." So that means I knew more than the instructor and twice as much as the instructor that I have now, right? Anywho, one of the questions on the test was, if you have a grid tied solar panel on your house and the main grid power goes out, how long will your power last?
and
Okay.
the battery.
Okay. Well, that was the correct answer to them. But all my research says that grid tied has nothing to do with battery backup because you're tied to the grid. Off grid or a grid tied battery backup system is another system.
That's right.
Okay. And that's how I learned it as. On grid is you have solar panel that you're paying into the grid by banking your hours, saying, okay, I bring in 200, but I'm only using 100. So the power company gets my 100. And eventually I have net zero. You have net costs. But with a battery backup, you're putting that other 100 into a bank, your battery bank, and then you get to use it. And yes, Ron, you would last as long as your batteries, right? So with this question, I'm saying it's not hooked up yet, and she's going to probably be being totally off grid with that system. So
Yeah.
there are two systems, people. So when in Nevada here, they're so pushing to have, all these commercials like, hey, if you have a solar panel like this, you can get free solar. Well, it's free solar because the power company can now get power from you and send it to Joe over here at his house, that doesn't have solar. And that's a win-win situation. But when the grid goes off, you don't have power. No.
Well,
So yeah, you got to buy
in Texas, they screwed everybody on solar.
Yeah.
TXU owns the grid.
Yeah.
And basically they own the state of Texas. There are very few small companies. Well, when these other states at the end of the year, if you had a surplus of electricity that you'd put into the grid, you got paid for it.
Right.
In Texas, and that switch where you switch from, I don't know what they cost now, but where you switch from solar to
grid,
put it in a grid or vice versa,
right?
Where they can cut it off if they need to.
Yeah, just a quick disconnect.
Yeah, it cost about $500 back when I was looking into it.
Right.
In Texas, they let TXU design the stuff. $25,000 for that. And TXU replaces electricity as long as you're ahead, but when you get to the end of the year,
you
lose it.
Yeah, well, they can pound sand then.
Yeah.
So I would put solar on my house and have a Tesla battery or make my own battery backup. And I wouldn't tie it to the grid. I wouldn't. But if you're in California where your power bill is, as much as $1,200 a month, yeah, I would tie to the grid and say, you're going to take it back and take it off right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, you gotta know what you're doing when you sign up for that stuff. If you get yours zeroed out or you get money back, then go for it. But if they say, no, you're going to cost you more than everything and you're not going to get credit for it, then no, have your own battery backup.
Well, they'd give you credit for your hours.
Yeah.
But just if you had a surplus at the end of the year, they wouldn't pay you for it.
Yeah. And so basically there's no credit rolling over either then.
No, it's just you could replace hours you used and that was all.
And 1-to-1. But
yeah,
2-to-1 on your favor, they don't like that. They don't want to give you more than what you're And that's what I said earlier, that if you bring in 200 and you're only using 100, that the other 100 could be used somewhere else down the line. Well, that's fine and dandy, but they're not going to give you credit for helping us out. Yeah, that's
not if they own
I
it.
wouldn't do it. No. If it's 1-to-1 in the wash and all you're paying for is your solar, as I see your power bill would be 200 and you pay 150 for your solar, that's a no-brainer. Okay, but when it comes to really hot or nice sunny days and you're giving all the power away, you might want to be able to turn that off or at least switch it over to your own batteries.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
do you Crisco cooking oil?
Right.
Well, you get a can that's I don't know, half gallon or something like that.
Yeah, big can.
You can did you know you can take a candle and put down in the middle of that and it'll burn something like 90 hours?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the other thing that we make is if you can find an old coffee can, anything that's a metal can, cut cardboard and wind it up real tight and put it in that can and then pour paraffin over it.
Yep.
That'll burn 24 hours.
Yep.
Those things don't cost anything.
No. But you got to do it before.
Yeah. It just, and nearly everybody got a can of Crisco in a freezer or someplace.
Them cooking people do. Yeah, you got to be prepared for a hurricane. Man, I think in fact, I'd own a decent car that could pull a small trailer with some supplies in it and just head out.
Well, I got my house on my back with a travel trailer. When I take off, I got it all.
Yeah.
I'll never be without a travel
Yeah.
trailer again.
Yeah.
It's
Good
just too
call.
handy.
Good call.
I go see my kids. I got my own bed. You
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah. So Kim, are you saying you will be grid tied? You said it wasn't hooked up yet. You will be grid tied and no power instantly, and you don't have any batteries to store it either. Yeah. So I don't know if you're following any solar stuff yet, but there's the three things of solar, and there's a brand new solar panel out. Go to Will Prouse's channel. He just put a review out on it. It's a double-sided solar panel. Okay, it's almost see-through. That it has solar panels on both sides, so when the light bounces off a white surface, it'll come back in. It's just a smaller footprint, and it puts out darn near twice as much power. So he had 11 panels and 7 panels, and then some didn't work, so he had to change up. It was 7 panels and 5 panels, and the 5 panels put out twice as much power. So it was just insane. So there's a whole new sick technology. So look into that. And the next thing is your charge controller, which says, hey, I can take this much solar and put it into this battery with this smart charge controller. And then your batteries. And you don't go cheap on your batteries. A minimum get AGMs, glass mat, gel, or not gel, but AGMs. And if you can really do it right with lithium, because you get twice as much battery for what you're getting. Anywho, I do know a lot about it. I don't know all the numbers, but go ahead, Ron.
I got a question for you. Some of these high-powered solar panels are 240. I mean, 24 volt, 36 volt panel. Is you get a lot more watts out of them.
Right.
Is there an advantage of putting a 250 watt panel on compared to running two 100 watt panels?
Well, there's always pros and cons to everything. What I see as is, yeah, you paid a higher premium for 100 watt versus you'd have to have like batteries. You'd have to have twice as many lead acids as you would lithium. So if you have two high quality 100 watts versus a big 220 watt, you have twice as much wires to deal with on the 2 panels versus the 1 panel. And this you have to mount it twice versus 1, and it's almost the same square footage. You know, the 200s are obviously going to be smaller than individually than one 200 watt panel.
Well, will a 24 volt panel going into your, I get confused on the PMG
charge controller.
Yeah, the charge controller.
Uh-huh.
Is it more efficient than a 12 volt panel?
Well, let me figure that one out. As an efficiency, it doesn't matter on the front end of the solar. It matters the charge controller and what it's going into. Okay, is what I've learned. Because what you can do is have like 4 panels in series, and you have more watts coming in, but it's a charge controller that does all the business. So it almost doesn't care what's coming in. It's what the charge controller does to it and then puts it into the battery bank.
Well,
does that make sense?
It does and it doesn't.
Okay.
24, well, like you go in a house, you got 110, you got 240.
Right.
Okay. 240 is much more efficient than 110 is.
Right.
For heavy load.
Because you get charged by the amps. Right.
Yeah. And on the solar, it's the same way that it's the amps that matter, not really the watt.
Well, and it's the watts going in, but it's the charge controller that's using the amps to charge. So it buffs it up.
Yeah.
So what I have is 1,000 watts in series. So I have 3 panels at 330, 369. I have 1,000 watts of solar coming in, and I run it at watts. Okay. The charge controller is charging it between 40 to 60 amps.
Yeah.
Because that's what it does. Okay. Now the next level, this might be really your question. If you had a 24 battery bank or a 12 volt battery bank, that's where your efficiency is when you go to your inverter. Okay. So I have 12 volts and I want to jump it up to 120 volts for your inverter, right? You want to run house appliances. Well, from 12 to 20 to 120 is 10 times. Okay. But if you're at 24 volt, it's only four something times, right? So it's more efficient to have a 24 volt power system to go to your inverter. But as
Okay.
solar panels and voltage there, I don't think it matters. Okay. The
Basically,
way,
what you're
yeah.
saying then is if
Uh-huh.
say your panels are 24 volts
Right.
and you're feeding it into a charge controller.
Correct.
Some of the more expensive charge controllers can be set for 12 and
Oh yeah, yeah.
you'd set that say on 24 volt and then have a 24 volt battery system and then use your inverter to break it down.
What puts it up? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
from 12 or 24 and up. Okay.
that would probably be the most efficient setup that I can think of. And solar, when I first started looking at solar,
Uh-huh.
God almighty, it was $7 a watt.
Holy moly, that was so long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's what? 40 cents a watt, something like
If
that.
you're paying 50 cents a watt, you don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Okay. For the current, but that brand new one might even be the same. Go to Will Prowse and watch that video, and I think it was. Still at 50 cents a watt for the newest technology.
That's workable.
Oh my gosh. See, back in the day, and there when it's the first to market, we talked about names in the beginning. The first to market, you're going to get a premium. And the first to market was the battery bank was Gold Zero and Renogy. So those names are out there in the industry. Well, you were paying about $100 or $1.50 a watt from Renogy. So when I hear people go, "Oh, I have my 100-watt Renogy," I just bare my head and go, "Wow, you just bought what you just thought was the greatest." You didn't do. I don't think they really did their homework. Now, Renogy's a really good name brand, but I think you're getting overpaying.
Yeah.
And they can.
Now,
Oh, I got 100 and I got 100. Oh, I got 200. No, if you could have bought a 250, you would have paid less.
a few years
But
ago, though, that 250 wasn't available.
I know they just
It had.
Ron. I got a 335 watt panel, three of those. I have 1,005 on top, and I wanted four.
Yeah.
I will get one. And like I said, if this RV doesn't last long or I decide to get a new one, I will go with 4 panels, 2 in series, and then those in parallel. And that does your amps and your volts, and then you do the math and it's watts. I just put it together. But I bought the biggest charge controller that I could use for 1,200 watts in a series, because a series, or 12 volts. So in a series at 12 volts was max of mine was 1,200 watts. And yet if I did them in parallel and 24 volts, I could go to 2,400 watts. So like you're saying, there is an efficiency there.
Yeah.
And that charge controller does all the math for you. Okay. And eventually here, let's get through some of these questions or comments, and I'm going to go over and look at the charge controller that I got and walk you through that one. Yeah, Julie, welcome in. Thank you. Now, 20 minutes later, saying hi. off grid only. Yes, Kim, absolutely. Need inverter and batteries. Yes. So in solar, the inverter comes after the batteries. Okay. You can hook it up before the batteries, but it goes after the batteries. So it's solar, charge controller, batteries, disconnect, inverter. And why the disconnect is because the solar charger and batteries are a standalone. That's what you need all together. And then you're going to change the DC power into AC with the inverter. And you want to disconnect there. As with your solar, you want to be able to turn them off. Yeah. So I have the rest of the solar stuff. Great. So the inverter, I would get one bigger than you need. And let me show you what I've got here in a minute. Okay. Geez. Oh, thanks, buddy. Okay. I can't keep straight. Yep. I know he knows. Yep. And I don't do the math. See, Troy, on the other hand, Troy does, oh, your amps are this, your volts are that. I've done this for 30 years and I'm still not getting all that stuff. It's like alphabet soup. I just know that that does this and this does that, and that's what you need at the other end. So as I've taught in 15 years of college, I was the lab instructor. So what I did is I said, this is what we're going to do. I got on the board. I showed them everything that we needed to know to go do it versus the instructor that says, yeah, when you take this and you do that, and then, you know what I mean, Ron? The difference between an engineer and a technician, they think about it and I go do it. Okay. And don't be Julie. It's really easier than you think. Okay, land cloud solars always makes it so harder. No, YouTube has, tells us systems what we look for is easy, not all. Yeah, watts and amps and all that. If you get the charge control, and I'll show you here in a minute, you don't even need to think much. Okay, where are we at? Land cloud, solar guys. Start calling out numbers and terms. Yeah. And again, Will Prowse breaks it down really easy. And he's
that
always
cat is sharp now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people don't know this. I'll tell you a little bit of his story. He was living on the street. He had some medical disabilities. He had depression. He had the whole thing going south for him. And he did all these comparison videos. And even some of the best one he's ever did was in his RV. And he's now making over $30,000 a month off of YouTube and his book. He lives he has two paid for houses in Las Vegas. One is over 5,000 square foot, and he has an RV barn bigger than most people's houses. Yeah, he's doing okay. He's doing okay. Yeah. So, I don't know where I can go. So where I'm going to go here is, I'll get another page up. Is Battleborn Battery. Okay. Battleborn Batteries. Okay. Not a sponsor. And let me go over to my share. And I'll bring up the share screen. Tabs. Where are we at? Okay. All right. Why can't I see it? Okay, so there you go, seeing it, right? All right, so upgrade your RV. Everybody can see this? On? Oh, what happened? Ron, you can see that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear anything. I thought I hit mute.
Oh,
okay.
I was reading the chat.
Okay, good. All right, read the chat because I'm on a different screen, so let me know. So, power systems. We can do off-grid. Okay. Oh, this is huge. I've seen this video, and this guy has well over 20,000 in batteries. This guy, oh, that's the pawn shop owner guy. Remember that's from Las Vegas? That's who this is. Yeah, Pawn Stars right there. He has 48 Battleborn batteries. That's $48,000, folks. That's insane. Okay. I haven't been. Okay, so inverter chargers is inverter chargers. Okay. So Kim, this is what I'm getting, and this is what you would have to make your decision on being off grid, what you're going to do. Wow, these look newer too. Now, Ron brought it up, is 12 or 24 more efficient? What do I want to do? Well, when you're going off grid, you want to go to 48 volts. Okay, so RV inverters are 12 volts. Okay, DC direct current to 120. And these things here, I don't know where the good stuff is. I haven't been on here. See, is 12, 24, or 48. So when you go from 12 to 120, that's 10 times. When you go 24 to 120, that's 3 times. Or not right. Yeah,
4 times.
4 times. And then when you go from 48, that's just 2.5 times or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how much you'd have to up the power. So would you do 10 times or 2.5 times? Yeah. So 2.5 times is much more efficient. So off grid people that are homesteading, you want 48-volt system, and then your inverter goes to 128. So then you can run all your appliances and chargers, and you don't have to think about, oh, I have a 12-volt this and a 12-volt that. No, just get 12 volts of battery or 48 volts of battery, which means you put them in series. So 12, 24, 48. So you just have 12-volt batteries and 4 in a series. Okay. And we can go into that later if you want to know what series is. Just in a line. And this is why you also want to know about modified and pure weights. So when you're going to get your inverter that takes the 12 volt or 48 volts and turn it into AC power, 120 volt power, you want a pure sine wave, which is the big blue line, nice and smooth. A modified still gives you that wavy power, but it's all stair-stepped, which means it's on, off, on, off, 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 on, just that little bit, and then on, and off a little bit, and on. So see how jiggity jaggedy it is? Your electronics won't run very nice on that modified sine wave. So don't buy a cheap inverter. People say, "Oh, I can get a 5,000 one for $300." Well, it's probably a modified sine wave. Hopefully that makes sense. So all of this here is on Battleborn Batteries website. They are so free with the information. So here's the thingamajig that I'm going to get. Okay, it's an inverter charger, but I have to decide that if I want a 12 or 24. And I'd have to have 2 or 4 batteries to go with the 24, but it doesn't do both. It's either or. You get a, see this one here, it says 24 right there. So I haven't made that decision. It's a $1,200 decision. So what this does is take the power from your batteries and charges them by bringing in either generator power or grid power. So this would be tied to the grid by a plug-in. So if you wanted to charge it from the power from the grid, this would be your grid attach, okay, or a generator. And then you could charge your batteries, okay? But also it comes in from from your batteries, then goes and turns it into 120 volts. So this is the inverter and a charger. It has nothing to do with the power coming from the solar. Is everybody with me? Did I lose you? Okay. What I miss? Where are we at on the questions? How far back do I need to go? Okay, no power, grid tied. Still with me, Ron? Okay, you must have batteries for backup. Yeah, ideally, so there's grid tied, which means you're just tied to the grid, but there's grid tied with battery backup. Okay, that's what we're talking about. I would do that first, but unless you're way out in nowhere and you're not going to have a lot of solar to give back to the company, or you can't get, you want to be off grid with a battery backup. Now, the fine print between solar and running stuff off of solar is few and far between. You don't run stuff off of solar, or you run it through your batteries, through an inverter. Okay. Ron, are you very solar savvy?
A little bit.
Okay. So people say, yeah, I want to run such and such off of my solar. Well, let's help you reframe that. You don't run anything off of solar directly, unless it's like a farm pump or an attic fan where you only need the fan going in the day. So you have a little tiny solar panel, which again, Ron, would be a 12 volt or a 24, or, you'd adjust the power for that fan to the solar panel you're using to power it, right? Okay. So yeah, so me personally, I would have a little farm, homestead, whatever, and have the solar power just for me and not worry about the grid. And so I would have to have a battery backup. And like I said, I would use 48 volts at home. In an RV, all we talk about is 12 volts. But if you have a class A, a big monster motorhome, you can put a lot of batteries in it. I would do, if you could, you'd do 48. Okay. But you're going, well, everything runs on 12 volts. Well, then you'd have to have a step down transformer. Okay. So an inverter is basically a transformer where you're going from a low power to a high power, but you're also going from DC to AC. That's what inverter is. Okay. Where are we at here? Off grid only. Yep. Never do the grid tie. Sometimes you're going to cost $50,000 for them to take it to your house from where you're at.
Yeah,
And you could have bought a monster solar system for that. Okay. Yep. Okay, we saw that. Keep it. Okay, keep straight, but okay, we went through this. Sorry. All right, here we are, right? YouTube has people just tell us easy systems and how to hook it up easy. Not at all at once. Yep. Kim. Did we not have much chat? Or am I jumping? Okay, Solar Guy's so excited about calling out numbers and terms. Oh my. Yeah, to me, it's not about the numbers. It's just, I need a solar panels, I need equipment, this equipment, and batteries. Yep. What is the name again? For which? So did I miss something here? He lined it up. I don't know. They're talking amongst themselves again. Okay. Okay. Don't watch rich people. Yeah. Solar's not cheap, and to do it right, you need a little coin. I believe you get what you pay for. But if you have to start small, to me the most important part is the charge controller. So that means whatever solar panels I have, it's going to do the business and straighten things out and send it to the battery. Yeah, we're not impressed about seeing how much I can spend either. Okay.
Well, and a lot of people do this, and this is basically what my setup is.
Okay.
If they go in and get 100-watt solar panel,
Right.
and that's an inside joke between me and Nate.
Okay.
But they get a 100-watt, and they get a cheap charge controller. What is it? PMG.
Yeah.
And they get it, and they go put a couple lead acid batteries in. And I'm not so sure that's not the best way to start off small like that.
No.
Because you learn about putting it in, and
Yeah.
you understand the terminology and that kind of stuff.
Right.
And you're not spending a fortune to do it.
Right. And if somebody wants to do that, what I would recommend, I've gone through it myself, is you get the $150 solar, a Harbor Freight solar set. Okay. It's 4 25-watt panels. So you could put one here or there, or have them all out this way. Okay. You get 4 of them and a charge controller, which, like you said, it's an PWM, pulse multi width modulation. Okay. The pulse width. Okay. It's like that modified sine wave, right? Pulse width. And then you can hook it to your regular lead acid RV batteries that you're having, and that's what I did, and that worked fine. So you're not far off, Ron. Yeah, you can do that.
Well, here's the other thing that's coming up, and it's not quite here yet. I've been reading about this stuff for a long time. Okay. About 20 years ago, there were 2 Japanese kids that developed a battery. And the battery was 3 layers of plastic. Wow. It could be molded into a door panel or a dash or anything. Well, they got the thing, and it had a better charge and discharge rate than a NiCad. And just fantastic deal. Well, Exxon and Sun Oil bought it.
Wow.
And pigeonholed it. Well, a patent is good for 17 years. Well, you can't renew a patent and keep it unless you can improve what's patented.
Oh, really?
And so Exxon and them couldn't improve on this battery. So Sony and another company went together and started putting a plan in to start producing this battery.
hmm
And Exxon and them tied them up in lawsuits for about 3 years, and they started coming out of it now. But the batteries is going to be the thing that really blows solar up.
Yeah.
It's going to, if they can come up with that battery, oh man, it'd be something
Wow.
else.
All right, Naj, you get to bed and get some shut eye. That's too much. Yeah, you have a good night and morning. All
Yeah,
right.
I didn't mean
Okay.
to monopolize this whole conversation.
No, you didn't. Not at all. No, no, no. We're just sharing. Okay, so she only needs solar to run her fridge and freezer. And here's the deal: is that a 120? Because I have a fridge and freezer that's 12 volt, which would be even better. Okay, if you can get a 12-volt fridge and freezer, look into that. They're not a whole lot more expensive, and you will save you a lot of money in the long run. Okay, she has
And
MPP.
they've got pretty reasonable too.
Yeah, but and for off grid, I would 100% look into that for sure. Okay, MTP controller. You're getting a pure sine wave inverter because you wouldn't need an inverter, but you're going to use one in other things. And running parallel because I don't need any more. You're running parallel, and that makes it easier on your charge controller. But if you have too much watts running through your parallel, your amps are higher. And so that's why people do series with more watts, because if you need bigger wire and your solar's way out there, if you don't have bigger wire, you could burn them up. So hopefully they're close to whatever you're using. Because some people in the backwoods, they got to be a ways, so they cut their trees down and all this and that. All right, fairy dust okay, so Naj went to bed. Okay, nighty night. Thanks for coming in. Okay, I'm going to have to rewatch this to get the full extension. Yeah, always. Here 2.5 hours. Look at this, a pop up on a school night. All right. Sweet dreams. Yep. Nighty night. 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 Okay, I'm gonna save this to playlist. Yep, that'd be nice. Okay, I don't know what those are. Oh, these. Nighty night. Okay, both 120 fridge and freezer. Okay, well that's no big deal. So your inverter, unless if that's all you're doing and you're not going to run a electric plate or an electric kettle or something like a microwave that's going to be about 1200, you could get like a 1,000, a 1,200, a 1,500 inverter and save some coin there. I would always go with at least 2,000 myself because you don't know if you wanted to run a microwave or electric this and that. Okay, I'm getting a 3,000 inverter myself, but I highly recommend everybody go with two, because you can run two things at once. Like because most things are, when you're really going to use them, they're going to be about 1,200 watts. Like your microwaves are 1,200 watts. Induction cook plates 1,200 watts. Your crock pot, your Instapots are 1,200 watts. Now you can get smaller ones, okay? And then if you're running two things, it's under 2,000 watts. Anyhow, all right. So how much solar do you have now, Ron? Do you have any?
No, that 100-watt solar panel, I've got a Renogy kit.
Yep. Okay, and that's what they had back in the day.
Yeah.
How long you had it?
Oh, 5 years. Probably.
Okay, yeah.
5 or 6 years.
And that's when solar really came back on the mainstream, right?
Yeah,
People started recognizing.
it wasn't too bad. I think I paid $1 a watt for it at that time.
And it was a kit, so that's why you got it good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in the day, Renogy was the okay. I was wanting a 6. That's crazy huge.
Well,
Why do you need 6,000 watts? What do you run?
What I want on my trailer eventually is I want to be able to take and run a air conditioner off of it.
Okay.
And then all the lights are LEDs.
Right.
I've got a gas stove, So there's not really all that much. In the wintertime, you need to keep the battery up to run a furnace, which that's just a fan. So that's not much.
Right.
Um, so I don't know. I imagine I'll probably need a 1250 or 1300 watt
For solar.
setup to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
From what I read, that's just a guess. And the other thing that people told me about putting the air conditioner on a solar was that don't put it where it cuts on and off. Roll it up wide open where it's just got to start one time, and it starting and stopping is what uses all the electricity.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know if you know about the kind of air conditioner that's called a mini split.
Yeah.
Okay. So anybody that has a regular air conditioner that's on the roof of an RV is usually average about 3,000 watts to start those things. So you have to have a lot of power to run those, and those are very inefficient. When a mini split can run about 500 watts, and that means you don't even need a 1,000-watt inverter to run that thing. Because what you're talking about, Ron, is called inrush current, and that's why people have to have a bigger generator. They don't have the little 2,000-watt Honda generators that are ultimately quiet, right? It takes more than that to run them. You got to have two of those, and they're like 1,000 to I don't know, they're more than that, aren't they? More than $1,000.
They're about 1,000.
Yeah, so you got $2,000 into your inverter, into your generators to run your air conditioner. That's way silly. You could spend $1,000 on a mini split and maybe a couple $100 on a small inverter to run that, and then run off your solar and batteries. That's what I'm going to do.
I've got a 2,000-watt inverter at 4,000 feet.
And is it a pure sine wave?
No.
Okay.
No. And I've run without the pure sine wave and haven't had any trouble.
Right. And I hear that a lot. And it depends on how fast that is changing and making that cycle. But delicate, like if you had any Mac, Apple products, I wouldn't run it. If you have a high-end computer, wouldn't run it. But if you're running a coffee pot, it'll work. Okay. If you're running a hairdryer, it'll work. If you're running a microwave, some will, some won't. Okay. There's just certain things that work.
The other thing that these little old 5,000 BTU air conditioners, you put in a window and put a soft start in it, that works pretty well.
Right. So soft start is a big capacitor that gives it that extra jump for that inrush current. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And those are $250 though.
Well, I got electrician buddies.
Yeah, I can make you one. But still, they're not cheap.
They pick up that stuff, off job.
Yeah, cool.
But
but I would highly recommend, I'm going to do it myself eventually, not right now, because the air conditioner that I'm putting in my back window it's only going to take 400 watts as well. But if I knew what I knew 6 months prior to what I did, I would not even cut the hole in the window. I took out the back window and boarded it up and cut a hole in there to put my window AC in. Okay. Because I'm running 500 watts versus 3,000 watts. No brainer, right? It's an AC. It puts out cold air. A mini split, the compressor's on the outside, the cooler's on the inside, and you couldn't put a heating element in that well. It's called then a heat pump. Okay, so Kim says I'm wanting a 6,000-watt inverter because eventually I want to run the house, and I didn't want to do it under. So it is okay. I want to underdo it. Okay, so but here's how you figure out what you need. Okay, your TV, if it's efficient, it's going to be like 50 watts. Let's go out and average it's 100 watts. Okay, you have your washer and dryer. Let's say it's going at the same time. That's probably 2,000 watts. Crazy, right? Okay, your fridge, 500 watts. So we're at like what 700 or 1,600. I don't think you would even need a 4,000 watt inverter at all to run your whole house. Okay. I'd rather see you get 2,000 and put them in different locations. I just don't think you would ever use 6,000 watt at one time. Just my thought. So you can do what they do, and especially in the RV, is you go around and you add up everything. So you pick it up, and on the bottom it's going to say, oh, 12 watts, 15 watts, 45 watts. Your blender's like 800 watts, and add all that up and see if I had every single thing turned on, you're still not going to be at 6,000 watts. All right. Yeah. So until you have every single thing on at once, you will never use 6,000 watts. I'd be blown away, even in a 2,800 square foot house. Yeah. Okay. So I'd like to get a mini split the rest of the house. Yeah. So you can get a mini split that has zones. So you can get a mini split with has 4 zones. So 1 compressor and 4 different cooling units. In that big a house, I think you'd need it. Okay, the rest of the house, inverter, keep things okay. So even that, you're going to use maybe 1,000 watts on that. If you had 1,000 watts on that, an induction plate's 1,000 watt, your cooker's going at 1,000 watts, you got 2 other things going 1,000 watts. Yeah, you're going up to 4,000, 5,000. You'd be busy, girl. Yeah. So you can get them at 4 and 5,000, and they have a peak of like 8 or 10 or 1,000. But I've never seen anybody with a 6,000 watt inverter. But anywho, just trying to save you some money, and I'd always, again, I would get 2 versus 1 big one, because if you overload that 1 big one for whatever reason, somehow you're shot.
Back up.
Yep. So I would rather get 3 2,000s and see where I need them and put them different loads, like your panel breaker. You know, your panel where the power comes in, the breaker box, right? Okay, not everything's on the same breaker. So you got 30 amp, 30 amp, 15 amp, 15 amp, 15 amp. You have zones. So that's what I would do, is get three 2,000s over 1 big one. Just throwing it out there. But yeah, I love this input. I love this feedback. Yeah, because you won't know what you need. And especially run the entire house on battery and solar. Yeah. Mini split. Don't know what the size inverter actually needs. Yeah. So mini split, again, what I'm seeing, my mini split, 1 zone, will run on 450 watts, and the inrush and the turning on maybe like 700, but it's not going to run that long, right? So it's going to be down at 4 or 5 until it hits that, until it cools everything off. It'll come back down and it'll stay running at 400, 450. So that means I only need 1,000 watt inverter separate for that, and maybe some charges I can, charge my phone or other things off to the side on that one. And then my big one, the one I showed you that picture, it's a 3,000. And why? Again, because I won't run it very long, but I'm going to have the induction plate on, the microwave on, the crock pot on, and those are all 1,200. So 12 and 12 is 24. And if I have anything else going, that's 3,000 watts. So again, it's just like, how long do you run your microwave? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 22 minutes? Yeah, we don't cook in it, right? We just kind of heat things up. So, yeah. All right, what do we got? So, and to me, I think you can go cheap on your solar. I think you can go cheap on your inverter, but I wouldn't go cheap on your charge controller or your batteries. From what little experience I have a lot of knowledge, less experience. Is in the long run, we don't know how lithiums actually act. But when people are saying the last 10 years, that's way longer than any lead acid has ever thought about it. Okay, I want to extremely run the entire house on batteries and solars, my mini splits, and don't know the size inverter I actually need. I didn't want to underdo it. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm throwing out there is, oh, what I missed though. No, I don't. Okay, don't do watts on anything. Too difficult. No, it's going to say right on the bottom of your all your equipment, everything you want. Okay. Oh yeah, the kilowatt meter. I don't even know how to work it. Go ahead, Ron.
On what? Don't you divide watts by 12 volts. I mean by 12, and that'll give you the amp.
Yep. Yeah, for a single 12-watt battery, right?
Yeah, 12
Yeah.
volts.
So she'd do it by 120 in the household. So if your little blender says 800, you divide it by 120, which would be, I don't know, 3 or something. Let's do some math tonight, folks.
That's how many amps it would pull running.
Right. So let's say my blender is 800 watts divided by 120 is 6.5 amps. Okay. But what is amps? What is that going to help you? Okay. So amps are how many amp hours in the battery. So if I have 6 amps and I ran it for an hour, that would be 6 amp hours. Okay. And if you have 50 in your lead acid, so 50 divided by 6 tells you how many hours you could run that blender, but we don't run our blenders for hours. Okay. So that's why when I talk about watts, if I say, okay, I have a blender and it's 800 watts and I have an inverter that's 1,000 watts, 8 is lower than 1,000. Okay. I can run it. Okay. If I have a microwave and it's 1,200 watts and I have a 1,000-watt inverter, I can't run it. I need a higher one. So I need a 1,500. You always want to go higher, especially on 120-volt appliances, because there's that thing called inrush. When you turn it on, it takes a lot of energy to turn that motor over. Like we're talking earlier about the air conditioner. It might take 3,000 watts to run it, but it might take 4,000 watts or power more to turn that motor over and start inrush power. So when we're talking, go ahead, Ron.
I've done a lot of boondocking in my trailer.
Yeah.
In which I've got one battery on it.
Okay.
I can set up, and if it's cold, I can go 1 to 2 nights running the furnace.
Okay.
The fan on the furnace.
Okay.
Just off the battery, not without anything recharging. If I'm not running the furnace, I can stay a week off at 112-volt battery.
Yeah.
And so what I've got to have on mine, I run my icebox on propane. That's so much more efficient than electrical is.
Batteries, right?
You're
right. Yeah, propane.
And then I don't have much draw on that furnace. Like I say, it probably 2 or 3 amps on that fan motor.
Right.
And so the air conditioning, the lights, I don't have that much on it.
Right.
Computer and the air conditioning are probably my biggest draw.
Right. And those are the things you'll need your inverter for. Otherwise, everything else has been 12 volts before that. So your lights in the ceiling, the fans, the furnace fan, the spark to keep the propane running on your fridge, all that's 12 volts. And so that's why would I want to need different voltage in my RV? George said, oh, I could do 24 volts and it'd be more efficient on my inverter. Well, you'd still then have to go and have something change that 24 back down to 12 to run everything else. So I don't recommend it for simple RV stuff. But if you're going to change things or do a lot of 120 volts, you need a efficient inverter. Then you would go to 24 or 48 volts. Okay. And especially in the off grid for homeland, you'd want 48-volt battery setup. But yeah, you want a very efficient inverter. So Ron, what I'm seeing too is that the average RVer, like a pole long little 14, 20-foot RV, a single lead acid deep cycle battery will last you 2 nights without charging it using your furnace, because that furnace, even though it's 2, 3, or 4, 6 amps, it's the hardest draw on your battery.
That's right.
So, and most batteries like that are about 50 amps. So 50 divided by 6 is 8 hours. Okay.
Well, see, like my deep cycle batteries, the ones I've got run 100 to 125 amps.
Okay.
Hours.
Okay.
So I've got 50 amp hours of usable.
Oh, you got more than that. So if you have 2, you said 2 batteries?
No, just one is all I've got right now.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I was saying, 50 amp hours.
Yeah.
So
And
50 divided by 6 amps, you can only run that for 8 hours. So if you're running it, let's say it's only a 3 amp draw, yeah, that's 2 nights at 8 hours each. Yeah,
well, and it
that's how
doesn't,
people get stranded with their batteries. Even only 3 to 6 amps, that's drawing a lot out of your battery.
and the thing about the furnace doesn't run continuous.
Right.
You know, it's like an air
On
conditioner,
and
it's
off.
on and off.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, uh,
Yes.
so like I say, I can run 2 nights and not run my battery down too far. But it, so I've got a pretty light load that I'm talking about.
Okay.
Really,
Yeah.
the air conditioner is the biggest part of it.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's not, and you got to be that little bit of nerdy math. Okay, so again, if you pick up your blender and it says 800 watts, and you have running it with power of 120 volts, so 800 divided by 120 is 6.6 amps. Okay, if you have a battery that has 50 amp hours, okay, you divide that 50 divided by that 6 amps, and you only get 8 hours. Okay. So, but the more batteries you have, the more amp hours you have. Okay. Yeah. It's not that hard. That's simple math. It's just knowing which ones to use for the numbers you need. And that's the next level of going, oh my gosh.
I
Yeah.
tell you, I'm a Texas redneck, but
Okay.
I would nearly recommend somebody go in and buy a cheap kit that 100 watt, 75 watt, like you were talking about Harbor Freight,
Yeah.
and play with that. Do the learning on that. You know, they can always keep a motorcycle battery charged with it or something
Yeah.
after they go to a bigger unit. But you can spend $100 and get your feet wet on solar to
Yeah.
where you start understanding the terms and the
Oh,
draws
absolutely.
and that kind of stuff. So it's a cheap $100.
Well, yeah, a few more than that. But yeah. So the Harbor Freight, you can get it anywhere from $99 to $150 is the solar and the charge controller, a little cheap one. Okay. And go get you like $100 decent deep cycle battery, Walmart. Okay. That's going to be another $100. Okay. That alone is 50 amps and 100 watts of solar. Okay. And that'll take care of most of your simple, like he's doing, simple RV stuff. And you can move those around and they're pretty decent. And I did that. That's what I started with. That's exactly what I started with.
That's a good learning tool.
That's, yeah, and practice. Stick it in the backyard. See what you can run off of it. Okay. The
Yep.
next level is, yeah, you need a inverter of more wattage. Again, you have to know your wattage, okay, of how much you're going to use. So that's the weird part is that, okay, you're telling me I need a 12-volt battery, a number of the solar stuff, okay, and then I have to hook it up and figure out this inverter thing. Yeah, it gets embobulated, right? But like as Ron's saying, is just buy little bits at a time, and you'll get your money out of all this. None of this is, and that's why I can say that I can afford to do this, is that all the money I'm putting into it, I mean all of it, I can either transfer it to another RV or definitely get my money out of it. Okay. Now, lead acid, not so much. Okay. But solar, it's getting better. That my next RV will have better solar on it. So I'm not afraid to let that one go. I'm going to sell it and get my money out of that. Okay. As for my batteries, they're coming with me. Okay. Unless that person wants to flat out pay individually for those batteries, yeah, they're coming with me. So that's not going away.
Well,
And
you
then
know
same
what
with
I
the,
did on my 100 watt? I
what's
had a
that?
little old boat trailer sitting out here,
Okay.
and I mounted that 100 watt solar panel on it, and
Yeah.
and my charge controller and all that, picked an ammo box up from a Army surplus to where it'd be waterproof, and hooked it up and mounted the inverter to where I could just plug in the extension cord into whatever I wanted to.
Right.
And so I had it working basically what Zachary's doing and
Yeah.
getting $600 for it. You just made your little unit. It doesn't have to be on a trailer,
Right.
but put it on a pallet or anything. But you can hook a system up anywhere. And if you got an inverter there, all you got to do is take and plug an extension cord into it, plug it into whatever you want to.
Yep. Yep. As long as that inverter is big enough to run that piece of equipment you're doing.
Whatever you're not going to run an air conditioner with it
No.
with a 100-watt solar panel, but
Well,
it'll teach you everything else in that trailer.
well, now here's the deal though. If you had a 100-watt solar panel and you had 1,000 amp hours of batteries, okay, and a big enough inverter to charge that, yeah, you could run AC for however long your batteries lasted.
Yeah, but you
Okay.
couldn't charge it back up fast enough.
Exactly. Right. No. If you had 1,000 amp hours of battery, you could run your solar for your air conditioner for like 2 days. But
Yeah.
you said the fine print. How could you ever charge that back up? It'd take you a week on 100 watts. Yeah. There's all these tricky things. But again, that's why you don't say I'm going to run anything off of solar. You run it off the batteries in the inverter. And again, we're getting super
it's sort of like somebody will talk about here in Texas about getting on a deer lease and they'll see a rattlesnake. It's a poison snake. Well, the guys that fool with snakes will tell you right quick that damn snake isn't poison. He's venomous.
Yeah.
And my comeback for that is no, he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, some people say, oh, I got to transplant that snake. I'm going, I don't know. This isn't politically correct, but I don't take prisoners.
if I've got a certain space and that snake's got a certain space.
Exactly.
And if they cross, the snake's going to lose if I got anything to say about it. I'm not going to put up with snake around a house or around where kids are or any of that kind of stuff. And you got plenty of damn snakes in Texas in places. There's places you'll never see one. So, well, listen, I've enjoyed the conversation.
You out?
I didn't know I was going to come up here and help monopolize it, but I did learn some from it.
No, don't ever say that again, brother. You didn't at all. We're bouncing things off. These people learned a lot. It's Kim over there, she absorbed a lot of this and it helps me bounce, I don't have to talk to myself. It's like my room's echoing. My neighbor's probably thinking, what the hell's going on up there, Our floors are paper thin, mate. Paper thin. They can hear everything.
Well, it's good to sit down and just have a conversation, just normal stuff. When it comes to AC, I don't have any problem with that. And even 3-phase, 220, 3-phase. I did a lot of stuff in my shop.
Right.
And but it's a completely different world.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing similar about it. Even the color of the
kids or animals, the snakes need to be dead.
Do what?
Right. Oh well, she's saying, dead snake. Yeah, if you got dogs and cats around, or you got chicken livestock or something that thing's going to go after, and that's yours. Yeah, transplant. Yeah, no, it's gone. I'll make me a head strap and have me try it. Snake tastes like rabbit, right?
Yeah, I've ate them before.
And rabbit tastes like chicken.
Yeah. You got time for a little story? I'll make.
Oh yeah. I want to round. Yeah, we're gonna go another at least 5 minutes. Yeah.
I got off into kayaks here a few years ago.
Oh, good.
And I bought a little old 10-foot kayak, just getting into it. Well, that morning I had a lab that died that was like 15 years old.
Oh man.
And I was down in a dump, so I went and grabbed a kayak and went out to a little old lake. Mm-hmm. And hopped in it and paddled around and got back in a creek and some stuff. And I started coming out, and I just happened to glance back to my right, and a damn cottonmouth was coming up over the edge of that kayak right behind me. And I slapped him with that paddle, knocked him off,
Okay.
Well, I don't know if you know anything about cottonmouths, but
there are rattlesnakes that like to swim, right?
But they float on top of the water, they can just blow up. Well, he crawled up on top of that water and struck.
Oh my
But when
God.
he struck, I rolled a kayak over, and I guess he hit the bottom of it. But when
Okay.
I came up, he was about 18 inches from my face. And he
Ah.
struck, and all I could see is that white mouth just coming straight at me. Well, I hit him with my fist. That just reflex, and knocked him down in the water. He didn't get a fang in me.
Dang.
So anyway, he had enough, and I damn sure had enough.
Sure
Well,
enough.
then I'm out here in the middle of, or on the edge of a lake in a 10-foot kayak, and I
Upside
never
down.
had got back in one like that. So I thought, well, a simple way is I'll just paddle over here to the bank and get on one of these logs. And I got over there, and there was a cottonmouth on that end and a cottonmouth on the other end. And
Oh my God.
I looked back in the brush, and there were heads everywhere. And my dad had a ranch on that lake, and I knew better. It was in March and April, and them damn snakes they come in there breeding, and they were just in there by the thousand. Well, this old
Dude.
country boy learned how to paddle a kayak out in the middle of the lake and get back in the damn thing. I
No
guarantee you.
doubt. So y'all that are here listening, we're lucky to even know this guy after that.
Yeah.
You drowned of a cottonmouth bite and then go over there and thinking, oh, I just got to get up through those bushes and not know what you're looking at. Dead meat, man. He would have been
Yeah.
dead in what, 10 minutes?
Well, that's I boxed a whole lot when I was younger, and so I
Wow.
think that's probably what saved me was just a reflex.
Oh,
Fast
yeah.
enough, I hit him on top of the head,
Dang.
just
Yeah,
knocked him
that's
down in the
crazy.
water.
Yeah, cottonmouths, mean, dangerous suckers.
When they're breeding, uh, they're aggressive as hell.
Man, at the wrong
Yeah.
end. Yeah, so rabbit tastes better than chicken, you're saying. Must have been that shake and bake you put on it, eh? Oh, I want to go back to this. So the comment was somebody on YouTube did a Harbor Freight solar kit and it wouldn't run a small AC. Yeah, it won't because it's about, again, the battery to the inverter. So if he had a strong battery and a good inverter, let's say the air conditioner was 500 watts, he would have to have 700 to 1,000 watt inverter. Okay, that would run that. But then how much power did he draw from the battery? So if he had just a lead acid battery, regular car battery, it wouldn't run it for like 5 minutes. Okay. But if he had a strong battery, a couple of big batteries, it would have ran it for a couple hours. But again, Ron said before, it's like, yeah, you can do that, but how are you going to charge it up again? So then that's when the solar comes in. So you're running the solar into the battery's running this and that. And so it looks like you're running it off of solar. You're running it off of the battery through the inverter that gets charged by the solar. It's a vicious cycle. But yeah, but a Harbor Freight is good for your little sump pumps, your storage shed, just where you want a little bit of light, run the radio, charge your tools in your shed or something like that. Or the basic thing, like it was said here, that yeah, just when your lights go out, you'd have something. But again, it's about the battery that's going to store it. So I would invest in a good battery. Okay. So, okay. Yep. The best rabbit meal bones, the rabbits, but the bacon and onions and peppers and season inside. Oh, yeah. I had a, okay. So Kim, I'm not a cook at all, but I get creative sometimes. So I had hamburger. Okay. I had a pound of hamburger and I wanted a hamburger royal. Or hamburger royal in most restaurants is an egg on top. Well, I grew up and my dad put the egg in the hamburger. So you mix up the hamburger and the egg and it makes it fluffier and lighter and it's great. Okay. Well, I went and I put Parmesan cheese in my hamburger mix and mixed all that up. But before that, I had grilled up a baseball sized onion and a basket full of mushrooms and sauteed those with salt and pepper and some soy sauce. And oh my gosh. So I cooked up a nice third of a pound of hamburger, made a patty, had the mushrooms on it, had 2 pieces of cheese and smothered in that. Oh my gosh. Am I making anybody hungry? Well, Ron, I appreciate you coming up and enjoying this time with you. That was great. I got to know you. Got to do some solar talking with you and snake talk stories. I loved it. That was a good one. Yeah.
Yes, it's good now.
Oh yeah. Well, I lived in Arkansas. I lived in Hazen, Arkansas, which is like 30 miles east of Little Rock. It's a roadside town. Like you can't see it. You might see it from the road, but it's a small town. Three white people in there, me, the school teacher, and the little girl. All right. And out our back trailer was our little metal storage shed. And as soon as you open the back door, you heard the hiss of the rattlesnakes living in that storage shed. Scary. On our walk to school, dead rattlesnakes, so you think, on the black asphalt. They'd crawl out there in the morning and sun themselves right. Well, the cars would run over them, but not all of them were dead. There might have been, somebody coming in later. That was some scary walking. I was in the second grade. And Ron, I learned what go over yonder and catch this here pass means too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't know what that meant. I went, Mom, they're making fun of me. Says, no, go out there. So I went over there and catch that there pass.
That's one of them deals where you jump just as high as you can and don't come down till the snake leaves.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. All right, folks, let's round this off. Ron, appreciate you staying up past your bedtime. Kim, you were the best guest tonight. You had the most input. I really appreciate you hanging in there and learning a lot. I'm sure you did, and bouncing some things. So we're going to call this a wrap, folks. This is the hardest part of all these lives, is saying goodbye. Good night. But Ron, I will catch you on the flip side. I'm going to go over there to Mike's. So if you guys are, the link, all of you do. I'm sure that.
Where's it
Dana's here. She'd put it in there, but yeah, Mike's. I'm gonna. Oh, let me go back live. I want to make sure I got. Yeah, I've been subbed to you. I just haven't been watching a whole lot of videos lately. I got, but.
Well, I got one. I'm gonna pick your head on before it's over with.
Oh, right here. Okay.
Yeah. Well, on here, I'm building a cab over camper.
Okay.
For my pickup, and I'm gonna go all solar on it. So
okay.
When we get set up, we'll go a little bit further. We'll get together and maybe put a parts list together or something on what I need to do.
Yep. Okay, good. Yeah, I got no problems with that. Yep. I mean, I only know what I know, and I like to share it, and that's why I did, teaching for a long time. It's not I'm smarter than somebody. It's just I have that experience and I want to share it.
Well,
that's all. Teaching and sharing it. So.
North and South Homestead, is that your handle? I mean, is that your YouTube channel?
Yes. Yeah, she's that's Kim in Kentucky.
Well, I'll go over there and sub to that. They sound like some nice folks. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll shut up where you can close this thing down.
All good, brother. All right, everybody. We're going over to Ventures and Travel and Mike, that 24-hour show, and I'll see you on the flip side. Thanks for coming in. Good night.
Good night.